Hi, everybody. How are you? We're just going to go live. We're going to try and go live on Instagram while we do this. So let's give it a whirl, shall we? Oh, wrong one. Here we go. Let's see if we can go live on Instagram. I think we are. Amazing. Hello, everybody. Tell me where you're from. I want to hear where everybody is from. Who wants to hear from Juliana tonight? She is very excited to have her day in the sun here. Georgia, New York, hello. From Maryland, New York City. Hey, I'm Long Island over here. If you're watching from Instagram, welcome. My name is Michelle Rogers. I'm an autism mom and life coach, and we are live. I'm going to move this over here. We are live in the Unlocking Autism, A Path to a Life of Independence. If you want to come inside this Zoom room and see everything and interact with us, just comment me in the chat, and one of my assistants will be sending you a link to join us. But today's going to be fun. Welcome. Let's see. Where's everybody from? California, New Hampshire. Hi, Trina from Virginia. King of Prussia, PA. I always like that town. King of Prussia, PA. Oh, we already got somebody with their hand raised. Loved it. Aloha from Hawaii. I love it. Awesome. So happy to have everybody. Long Island. I have Stefina. I hope I'm saying your name right. I'm Long Island too. St. Louis, Brooklyn, Florida. I love it. Okay. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Michelle Rogers. I'm an autism mom and life coach. And tonight is a very special night. We do this workshop every year in November to celebrate Juliana's birthday. If you don't know who Juliana is, she's my daughter. She was diagnosed with autism at the age of 2. Yesterday, we celebrated it for like the third time, her 11th birthday. She is blowing my mind with where she was when she was diagnosed. I didn't even know what her life could be like to where she is now. And I'm going to share those secrets with you, how I got her from a moderate to severe diagnosis to no language, taught her sign language, potty trained with a sign, to where she is today, a thriving, happy 11-year-old in a general education class with minimal supports, neurotypical peers as her friends. And I'm so excited to share this with you tonight. I'm really excited about the message that we're going to have tonight, because we're going to blow the shutters off of what an autism diagnosis means. I want to change the conversation about it, that autism is just different. It's not less. And if I can learn the language of my baby, right? If I can learn that my baby can learn anything, and that they learn things on a different frequency. If I can learn to communicate with my baby on that frequency, I can teach them anything. And I'm going to talk deeply about this tonight. Welcome. Oh, we got Alaska. We're all over the world here. Panama City. Love it. All right. So let's hop right into the presentation. Armando is here tonight. He's going to be helping us in the Q&A. If you don't know who Armando is one of the BCBAs for the Champions for Our Children Masterclass. That's my group coaching program for parents of children with autism. And we always loved having Armando a part of the program because we have so many boy families. So it's always nice to have a male teacher, a male coach. And he is a BCBA, but he's also an adult with autism who didn't speak till the age of 7, who didn't potty train until 5. And Armando speaks beautifully now. He went to life skills classes till grade 2. He was in general education classes from 3 to graduating high school. He went off to college. He got his master's degree. He got married last year. He owns his own company. He speaks beautifully now. You're going to get to hear from him today as well. And he's going to be answering the questions in the Q&A. So before we get hopping and get cracking, I'm going to do we're going to give away some Amazon gift cards tonight. Who absolutely loves some Amazon right around the time of year to have a little Amazon love, right? Okay, so we're going to do some Amazon gift carding tonight. I'm going to give away a free session with myself and a free session with Armando. We're going to do some raffles, but you have to stay until the end of till the start of Q&A. And then we're going to do those raffles, and then we're going to get right into coaching. If you want to be coached tonight, I guess we already have some people ready to go. You want to raise your hand. When you get coached, you're going to be brought up onto the screen as a panelist. That means you have to have good audio, good internet. You got to show us your beautiful face, and you got to be in a quiet area to receive coaching so everyone else can get coached as well. And everyone who came tonight is going to get a free gift for coming. We're going to give you the Autism Mom's Survival Guide to Problem Behaviors. It is one of the best guides I think I've ever written. As you guys know, I've written a bunch of guides. If you don't know that, I do. I have guides on potty training, communication, problem behaviors, and that this is about problem behaviors. And I'm so excited you guys to share that with you because you came tonight. All right, so I'm going to share my screen. We're going to get cracking. And without further ado, let's get to Unlocking Autism, A Path to Independence. So let me just share my screen. And tonight, my team is here to answer questions. We've got Jen here, Kim, Jessie is also going to be joining us, so she might be on the Instagram. So guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So I'm just going to widen it out so we can see it a little bit better. Is that good? Is that good? Yes. My team? Yes. All right, perfect. So here we go. Let's get cracking. I'm just going to open up the chat so I can see you guys and talk to you guys while I do this interaction. We're going to pull up Q&A. Just want to make sure we're all ready. All right, so here we go. This is Unlocking Autism, A Path to Independence. Hold on one second here. Okay, you are in the right place. If you have a child with autism or suspect autism and they need to potty train, you're in the right place if they're moderate, mild, or severe on the spectrum. You're in the right place if your baby with autism is verbal or pre-verbal. You're also in the right place if you suspect autism, but you haven't gotten the diagnosis yet. We're here to help you guys too. You're in the right place if your child has multiple diagnoses. And you're in the right place if you've tried and failed many times, whether to teach potty training, communication, problem behavior. If you're struggling with any of these, you are in the right place. And you're also in the right place if you have a child or adult with autism from 2 to 30 plus years old that's in diapers, that's not communicating, that's having problem behaviors. I'm going to help everybody. You are in the right place. Okay. All righty. So by the end of this presentation, you're going to know how to potty train your child. You're going to know how to get your life back. That's one of the byproducts of working with me. You get your life back, right? You're going to feel confident that this can be done, right? We can potty train them. We can teach them how to communicate. We can solve their problem behaviors. And you will be the ultimate educator, and you'll feel confident that you can teach your child with autism anything. That's a big one for me. And then, of course, if you stay till Q&A, you're going to get a special gift. And we're also going to be raffling off 2 Amazon gift cards, because who wouldn't love an Amazon gift card this year? But you got to stay till Q&A for that. And we're going to raffle off 1 private session with me and 1 private session with Armando. And not only will we make potty training, communication, stopping problem behavior, we're going to do it and make it fun for you. Wouldn't that be an amazing concept? Okay, so the first thing we want to talk about are what are the skills that a child with autism needs for a life of independence. And these are the first 3 skills that I worked on with my daughter. And I always call these 3 skills the foundational skills. It's almost like if you don't have these skills, it would be like building a house on sand. Okay, and this is what I like to call the big 3. And I believe that every child with autism, if they have these 3 skills, no matter where they fall on the spectrum, mild, moderate, or severe, if they have these 3 skills, the chances of them living a life of independence increases greatly. The first skill is communication. They have to be able to communicate with us. The second one is problem behavior's got to be at 0 or close to 0, so they can go to school and they can sit and attend and learn. And the third one is potty training. Who's here for one of these 3? Put it in the chat. What do we need help with today? Let's see. Potty training, 3, all 3. I love it. Potty, communication, potty training, all 3. Oh, wow, it's going crazy in the chat. All right, I got you, everybody. All right, amazing. All right, so the next thing I want to share with you before I hit play, because just hit play on its own, is our story. I think one of the best ways to kick off tonight, and by the way, Juliana is going to come on live tonight. She's very excited to be the star of the show. I'm going to have her come up right as we start Q&A, so you guys can see where she's at today. And this video is really our journey, and I wanted to share it with you. I could always just verbalize our video, but I think the video just speaks it so beautifully for itself. And then having her come on in the end will be be a cherry on our Sundays. I remember when I got pregnant with my daughter, I felt so grateful and so blessed. And my life up until that point had been pretty rocky. I'd had a lot of bumps and bruises along the way, and I finally thought that I was turning the corner and God was blessing me with this beautiful gift of a child. And I just, yes, finally something was going my way. And then when she was born, she was just absolutely perfect. I had all of these dreams and expectations for her. I thought of all the things that I thought she was going to do. I could hear. Right after her first birthday, I started to notice her behavior change. She went from, saying that. She was obsessed with Dora the Explorer, Mama, Dada. She was saying it all. Good girl, saying that.
hit all of her milestones up to that point. She walked at 1, she was eating solid, she just, she looked really good. And then I just remember her, it felt almost overnight or very quickly, where her demeanor just changed. She went from this super happy baby to crying and tantruming, just frustrated all the time. And I remember saying to my mom one day during one of the tantrums, like, where did my happy baby go? But I didn't think anything past it. I think I was kind of not ready to fathom that something would be off, even though maybe the telltale signs were there.
First. Honey, you gotta get dressed. Gotta get dressed, honey. Time to get dressed.
She started to lose the words that she had gained. She wasn't saying mama anymore. She wasn't saying that. She just seemed really disconnected from us. Instead of playing with her toys, she would take them, dump them all out of her toy box, and just start twisting them around in her hands aimlessly, with no intended purpose. Really kind of in denial about it. And then I remember one day we were in the middle of the store, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, she just like started like screaming and yelling like somebody had slapped her. I don't even know what the problem was. And I was so mortified. I didn't even know what to do. I was so scared. I literally just left the half full cart in the store, picked her up, and just ran out of there. Never went to that store again. I just didn't even know what to think. And that was probably the first time it really kind of stung for me that maybe something is wrong. They diagnosed her. They didn't diagnose her right away. They said that she was too young for a diagnosis. I didn't even know what they meant when they said that. I was like, diagnosed for what? I just had no idea what they were talking about. And then they said, we'll come back in if you're not seeing progress. And I said, okay, And a couple months later, I'm watching these speech therapists play with her on the floor. I'm not seeing any progress and felt like she was getting a little worse. And then we went for our 2-year-old wellness visit. And the doctor said that she was behind. She wasn't using 20 words with intent. And that was probably just the knife to my heart. At that point, I really couldn't deny that something was up with her anymore. So then I called the county back in, and then she was diagnosed on the spectrum. And I remember that day, and it was worst days of my life. It was my darkest hour. I could easily say that as a mother, as a woman, as just a human being, it was probably one of the hardest times I had ever gone through. And I remember just I went from being so happy with God, so thankful, to being so pissed at doing this to her and wrapping this beautiful gift he had given me. And for a while there, I struggled. I struggled to figure out what this meant, or what we were going to do, or how this was going to define her. All those dreams I had for her future were just completely shattered. And I just had no idea what was going to happen next. And I went from just hopeful to just complete blank when I thought about the future. One night I was thinking, I'm going to die one day, and who's going to care for her later? And something about that thought just snapped me out of my depression and my anger and my fear and said, listen, we got to get to work here. I promised that when she was born, I was going to be the best mother I could be to her. And that promise hasn't changed. In fact, she needs me more now than ever, not less. She needs me now more than ever. And I didn't know at the time what we were capable of, or what having those changes, that mindset shift for me was going to do. But I wanted to know that at the end of every night, I could look myself in the mirror with confidence and say, did you do everything you could, Michelle, to give her the best possible? And if the answer was yes, then that was a good day. And I wanted the answer to be yes, 100%. And no matter where the cards fell, I know I could leave this earth saying I gave her everything I had, no regrets. And as I've navigated this world with her and walked away that day after having that thought, I really just grabbed the bull by the horns. I became her fiercest advocate. I'm not a special education master's degree teacher. I don't know I never had training in ABA, but I knew that I was going to learn whatever I needed to learn to be really strong for her. And Juliana, lost all of her language.
Cheerios? You want Cheerios? They want Cheerios, okay.
She was nonverbal when she was diagnosed.
Show me what you want. Okay. What's it?
We taught her sign language.
Show me. Yeah, show me. Yeah.
Then she went from sign language to word approximations. Then she started to speak.
Say, I can't eat.
She went from the most restrictive preschool environment. She was in 6.4, most restrictive preschool, special education preschool. To now where she is almost 8 years old. She's in second grade class in a gen ed school, integrated class with typical peers. She speaks beautifully now.
What did you like about the troll experience?
She has a personality. She has conversation skills. There's still things that we need to work on, but for the most part, her future went from black to now having possibilities. And none of that could have happened had I not kind of gotten out of my way and really hit the ground running and started to take action for her. And I can't say that I can do that for every parent I coach, but what I can tell them is I will have them feeling like I did, looking myself in the mirror, you looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I was everything I could be for her today. I have no regrets. And whatever happens, it's really for us as parents to know we fulfilled the duty that we promised when we had these children. It was to be the best versions of ourselves, to live, to raise these children. I've helped now hundreds of mothers, coach them one-on-one to do the same things I do, to help them to be strong, to help them to craft plans where we're seeing constant progress. This is what I want to do. I want to give you the chance that Juliana's had. I want to give you every opportunity to give your child that opportunity.
Happy birthday, love you.
All right. Can everybody hear me okay? I know there were some issues with the audio. Can you hear me now? I apologize. We tested it before and it worked. All right, good. All right. Everyone can hear me now. Awesome. All righty. So meet Nisi. Nisi just kind of graduated from the program. She has full custody of her grandson. I would even call her son at this point. He we pee trained him within a few weeks, and then we poop trained him. And Nisi's a great story I love to share because Nisi got him pee trained very quickly, and we were struggling to get the poop. And she sent me this email like, I'm going to quit. This isn't working, blah, 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 blah. And I said, Nisi, let's get on a call. Let's figure this out. And we ended up figuring out that he was holding his poop on Fridays to go back to school on Monday and poop there because he doesn't want to poop at her house. So I was like, all right, well, let's hold him, keep him home on a Monday. And sure as anything, we got him poop trained. And she sent me this, I'm so sorry, you were right. I was so crazy, and that's how we get sometimes. We get so crazy. Our brains want to believe that we can't solve for these issues. You guys are in the field, like you're dealing with it. You're in the battlefield. You can't see it as clearly as I can. I always say I kind of have the drone view as your coach to kind of see where the problems are, where the weak spots are, and then help you to solve for them. And this here is Mary, and I want you to meet her. Her son was 7 when we first worked together. He was pre-verbal and in diapers, and within 2 weeks of working with me, he was fully potty trained, and within a month, he said mama for the first time. If her son can do it at 7, if Nisi's son can do it at 4, we just had a daughter, a girl, a woman potty trained at 18. We've had a man potty trained at 31. If they can do it, your children can do it too, okay? And of course, we have to start all of our webinars with a disclaimer. The information information. All information in my workshops are not intended to serve as a substitute for a consultation with a medical or behavioral professional. Only qualified professionals who know and work with your child on an ongoing basis can adequately assess and supervise a child's program. I always recommend including a board-certified behavior analyst on a child's client or child or client's team. This is especially important if a child's in danger of hurting themselves or others. So, of course, anything that we suggest tonight, you want to run by your doctor and your home team. Okay, so what are the goals you have for your baby? Let's put this in the chat. I'd like to know. Okay, let's see. I'm glad I found you. I'm glad you found me too, Bridget. Son is nonverbal. I need to potty train. All right, what are the goals that you have for your children? What are the skills that you need? Oh, pooping on the potty. We do a whole thing on pooping on the, we have a whole pooping section in my potty course. Nonverbal and needing to communicate. Communication and potty training. Potty. Responding to his name. My son is scared of the bathroom. We're going to talk about too. Potty phobia. Needs to express wants and needs. Potty train. Okay, so these are all the goals that you have for your baby. And I want you guys to understand that all children on the spectrum, no matter how severe their autism symptoms present, can obtain the big three. So no matter their age, no matter multiple diagnoses, no matter where they fall on the spectrum, they can learn to potty train, they can communicate, and they can stop using problem behaviors for their communication. I would say communication and problem behaviors kind of go hand in hand, because if I can't communicate in a functional way, I'm going to use behaviors to get what I need across. And the reason that parents think that children can't get the big three is because there are so many misconceptions, so many myths. And I'm going to talk to you guys about that today. Okay, so the first thing I want you guys to understand is we're going to go over 3 secrets. The 3 secrets that I believe, if you have these 3 secrets, you'll be able to teach your children the big 3. Okay. And secret number 1, most parents think that their child has to have the drive and desire to potty train. They have to have the desire and drive to want to communicate and stop problem behaviors themselves. And that's not true. In fact, that's not true for any child. And the first secret that I'm going to share with you tonight is that the parents, have to create desire for your child to want to learn these skills. If a child is existing now in your world and they can get their wants and needs met without these skills, they're going to do it, right? So that we have to create desire to show them why they would want to learn to do things a different way. And Julianne, and this is a good example, says Julianne has been in swim since she was 5 months old. And I remember when I put her in there, she cried for 5 weeks straight. We almost quit. And she had no interest in learning how to swim at all. She just wanted to play in the water. And she wasn't even doing that. She was just crying. I almost quit. I mean, it was 30 minutes, 5 weeks in a row of hearing her cry. It was so crazy. And I had to figure out what motivated her, what drived her. And that is how I taught her the big 3 and put her on a path towards independence. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And if I didn't do that, she's on a swim team now. That would have never happened if I quit swim. When 5 weeks in a row, she's crying, almost quit. We stuck it out, and now she's on a swim team. Now, who knows where she would be swim-wise? And it doesn't just work for me. It works for everybody else too. We figure out the motivators, the drivers. In my program, we create a personalized blueprint for you. And that's why all these parents are getting these results. When you hear that I have a 100% success rate for potty training, communication, and stopping problem behaviors, it's because we know what drives behavior, and we can help you to help your child grow. And here's Elizabeth. Hey, Michelle, I know I haven't been able to join the calls as much. I'm back at work, but I wanted to keep you updated. Sam has now pooped on the potty twice. We still have a ways to go, but we made progress. My boy peeped in the potty for the first time this morning since beginning the program. I couldn't have done it without the advice and support. This is what's available to you. And Julianne is not a unicorn. You guys can all have this for your kids, okay? And that's going to lead me to secret 2. And in secret 2, people think that creating an independent child with an autism diagnosis is difficult or it's complex, and that it takes hundreds of steps and it takes a long time and it's misery. And that's a myth, y'all. That's a misconception. What I want you to understand is secret number 2 is you can teach your child with autism to become independent, and it's simple. And when I say simple, I don't mean easy. There's a very big difference between simple and easy. Easy means something achieved without effort, right? I don't even have to think about it. I can just do it, right? Simple means that the steps to learning the big 3 are uncomplicated, easily understood, but it requires effort and commitment. That's the difference between something being easy and something being simple. And all you have to do is be consistent. You get up every day, you make your bed, right? You take a shower, you brush your teeth, you change your underwear, right? You do this. The way you do that is how you're going to teach the big three. It's just a habit. It's a habit you create. And that's why in 90 days in my program, this stuff works. And this is how we do it. It's commitment and consistency. That's it. Just like you have those things that you do every day, they're non-negotiables. We've got to start creating non-negotiables around teaching our children how to get potty trained, how to get communicating, and how to stop their problem behavior. Okay. So the skills you need to teach the big three, you need to be consistent and you need to be committed. You have to be committed to your child to do this. And I know you're committed to your child. That's why you're here tonight. You want to solve for some of the behaviors, the potty training, the nonverbal, right? You want to solve for that, but you need to just commit to these new skills. It's like riding a bike, right? Once you learn it, you never go back. It may be like if you haven't ridden a bike for a couple of years and you get back on it, you'll be wobbly, but you'll remember, right? So it's the same thing. We're consistent and committed, and that's how we're going to create these results for our kids on the spectrum. So the skills you need for the big three, you need to be consistent, you need to be committed, and you need to be in a winning or learning mentality. You need to be willing to see all the steps of the big three as learns, not fails. The only true fail of an autism parent is quitting. I mean, they're in the winning or learning mentality. They're going to be learns, but in 90 days, you'll exactly know how to do it. This is how I did it with my daughter, but it doesn't just work for me. It works for all parents, including you. And I'm not a special snowflake. I've done this for my child, and I've helped hundreds of families do this in my masterclass. I know this sounds wild, that all you need to be is consistent and committed, but it does work, which is going to lead me to where we're going to go with the secret three. And this is this is another example of other parents in my program seeing the results of being consistent and committed with a personalized plan for potty training, for a personalized plan for communication, stopping problem behaviors. This mom says, 1 year ago today, I gave Michelle Rogers intense potty training a whirl, and boy, was I amazed at how quickly my daughter learned how to go on the potty. No lie, by day 3, she was trained to pee with no issues. We had our issues with pooping on the potty, but with continued guidance, we conquered it. I can finally say it took almost a year, but my daughter is finally vocalizing that she has to go, and I no longer have to ask. Just wanted to share with you all, don't give up on your child. Patience is key. And before my little girl, I had none. Thank you to Michelle. And this other mom says, you were literally the reason I was able to potty train my 4-year-old. We're so grateful. And this lady in this ad, she says in her potty training program, I swear it works. Do you understand? So like, this is what's possible for your babies. Consistency and commitment. That's what these moms did to get potty training done. And this is going to lead us to secret 3. And I've been talking to a bunch of you and that are working with doctors, therapists, teachers, and you're working with all these people because you're trying to help your kid. But the missing link, the missing component to get what you came here for today is you. And that's our secret 3. You are your child's #1 resource to creating independence. And I know what you're thinking. What do you mean, Michelle? This is why I have all these services in place, or I'm trying to get these services in place. But you are your child's best asset. And you want to know why? #1, no one loves them more than you. #2, no one knows them better than you. #3, no one wants them to win like you. You are the VIP best resource in your child's corner to get potty training, communication, stopping problem behaviors done. I know what you're thinking. How can that be, right? I've been here the whole time, and I'm not a special education teacher. I don't know anything about it. I know shit about autism, right? I don't have a medical degree. I'm not qualified to be the #1 VIP person Michelle's telling me I am. And when you have that baby in your arms, I want you to think about when you're holding them in the nursery, right after you brought them home from the hospital, right? And you're looking at them. And I want you to remember what you thought their life was going to be like and the parent that you thought you were going to show up as. And then the autism diagnosis comes and that identity flies out the window. And the next thing you know, you're leaning on everyone else to tell you what's going to happen. And you start grasping at experts. And I remember seeing this coming out of our pediatrician's office. The receptionist had this mug on her window. And she says, please don't confuse your Google search with my medical degree. And I laughed and I told her, I said, don't tell your doctor, don't mistake his 120-minute lecture for me living with this child 24/7. And I want you to think about this. And everybody put this in the chat. How many times have you heard a doctor or teacher tell you something about your child and they were wrong? Let me know, even if it didn't happen to you about your child. How many times have you heard this happening in your life, to you, to a family member, a treasured expert who should know everything, made a prediction and they were wrong? Yes, yes, all the time. Yeah, plenty of times. So why are we putting all our eggs in that basket? Why are we assuming that they know better than us on how to take our kids from nonverbal to communicating, take our kids from diapers to fully potty trained? You go into a doctor's office, you're there for 30 minutes, they check. If you're lucky, you'll be in there for 30 minutes. He takes the vitals, he gives you his 2 cents, and you're on your way. Why would you give that so much more weight than your experience as a mama bear, as a daddy bear, as a grandma bear, as a great grandma bear, right? And just assume that they know what's better for your child. And I want you to think about this. I want you to think about that morning, right? In that nursery, and you thought about this baby, right? And you thought about the future that they're going to have and how you're planning to parent them. And then with that parent that's holding that baby, thinking about the parent they're going to be to give them the future that you're dreaming that they'll have, right? Would that parent ever be okay with that child shitting and pissing in a diaper longer than they should be? Would that parent let this child walk around the house and not talk to you? Would that parent be okay with this child hitting themselves or others to get what they wanted? Would you allow any of this to continue in your home if autism wasn't part of the equation? And that's what I want to help you guys through tonight. I want to break the fucking mold. And I curse, I apologize, anybody offended. I'm not your coach. This is how I am. I'm so passionate about this, right? I want to break the wheel on what people think an autism diagnosis means. If I had thought all the horrible things that I could look up on Google, right? Or all the horrible things that the doctors and the therapists and teachers told me about her, she would not be where she is today. I chose to believe something different about her. And because I chose to believe that, and I showed up in a very different energy, I didn't know I was going to get 11 and 11 was going to look so good. I had no idea what it was going to look like. But she deserved a mother who didn't believe anything otherwise. And I really want to hit that home with you guys tonight. And this is Teresa, and she came to me with her 10-year-old, and she sent me a message that he is officially potty trained, and she said 2 magical things happened. He watches videos of people opening and eating candy on YouTube, so he got a huge 1-pound peanut butter cup for Christmas, and it was the perfect reward for potty training. For number 2, we implemented a token board system, and his reward was a local hotel stay with a swimming pool. He literally went into the bathroom as soon as she said that, and he took a shit on the toilet. His teachers were just speechless because they had never seen such a quick turnaround in any of the children that she had worked with. And she can't tell me how much joy, unspeakable joy I have in my heart right now for all of us. This program we put in place is so much fun and affordable than any of the treatments I've paid for. He was 10 years old when we potty trained him. If he can be potty trained, your baby can be potty trained. So if you are the key to if you're the key to creating independence for your child, then why isn't it happening? And this is what I want to do. I want to change the whole trajectory of what an autism diagnosis means. So first off, if you've never been to my webinar before, then don't be hard on yourself. You've never been here before. You never heard this message before, right? So you didn't know before tonight you were key. Now you know. So now that you know, let's talk about why it isn't happening. What have you tried to help your child potty train, communicate, and stop problem behaviors? I want you guys to put this in the chat. What have you tried? And on Instagram, you can put it in the comments. If you have a child that you need to have potty trained, communicating, or stopping problem behaviors, what have you tried to get them there? Aisha said iPad. What have you tried, guys? You guys, you all came to me. ABA. What else have you tried? Hand over hand, sign language, lots of toys, pictures, rewards, token jar. There we go. Vocal coaching, redirection. You got me there. I hear you. We're going to help you out. iPad, rewards, everything, offering similar things, Steam Deck, food, speech therapy, cookies. Got it. Yes, cookies are a big one in my house too. Guys have tried a lot of stuff. I know you have. So now I want to know, you've tried so many things. Why do you think that what you've tried hasn't worked? I want you to put it in the chat right now. Put it in the chat on Instagram. Why do you think that all these things that you've tried, pictures, fun snacks, speech therapy, why do you think it hasn't worked? Consistency. Ooh, demand diverse. Consistent and strict enough. Don't understand. I'm not consistent and consistent. We got to do these secrets. Your mindset, time and effort. Karen's a masterclass and a great grandma. We're going to talk to her later. He doesn't understand me. She may not be ready. Why do you think what you've tried hasn't worked? Because he's comfortable wearing a pull-up. I'm overwhelmed. I give in when he cries. He's not fully equipped. All right. This is what it is. This is what you might think is the reasons why it's not working. It might be the autism diagnosis. How many people think it's the autism diagnosis that makes potty training or teaching communication or problem behaviors difficult? Yes. Okay. How many think that because they don't talk, they can't potty train, or that they can't potty train because it hasn't clicked for them yet? My child has a learning disability, brain damage. They're mentally handicapped, right? My son has no desire to learn. Both parents work full time and we can't be consistent, right? And she's not ready. She doesn't understand what she's supposed to do. I don't know. Consistency, it keeps coming up, right? That was a big one tonight, lack of consistency. And let me ask everybody in the chat who said that if consistency is the reason why it hasn't worked, if I gave you a protocol and I sent you off and you still worked full time and you still had your obligations, and I said, if you followed this for 2 weeks, your child would be potty trained, could you be more consistent? Put it in the chat. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yes. We're going to talk about this in a minute. Yes. Hell yes. Okay. All right. And look at all the other things. Listen, I'm not Houdini, right? A lot of these things that you guys wrote, I wrote this slide out months ago, but a lot of what you wrote out in the chat is what is already on the slide. These are all the reasons that you think that your child is not potty trained, the reasons why you think they're not communicating, and the reasons why you think they're exhibiting problem behaviors. But they're all misconceptions. They're all myths. You think that your child needs to be verbal to potty train. That's a myth. Most of the children I teach to potty train are pre-verbal, including my own. Your child's too severe on the spectrum to learn to communicate. Not true. Communication and being verbal are not the same thing, and we're going to show you the difference. And we're going to show you how one can lead to the other. Your child won't sit, so they can't learn to potty train or communicate. They run around too much, so they can't learn, right? Your child's out of control, will run away and hit themselves or others, so that's why this can't happen. And you don't know how to teach a child with autism to get the big three because you're not the expert, right? But really, why it's not working? The bar needs to be set higher to create independence. That means potty training, communication, stopping problem behaviors cannot be optional in your home anymore. The reason why your child still pisses and shits in a diaper is because you keep putting them in them. If all I've ever known from baby to whatever age your child is now is that I can piss and shit in a diaper and that works for me, then why would I ever change? This works. I get my needs met. If a child we're trying to teach to use the PEC system or the AAC or the sign language for cookie, and they can hand lead you to it, or they can just hand lead you to the pantry and smack everything out of your hand until they get what they want, why would they ever want to talk? Do you see what I'm saying? We're creating an environment where growth is not required. And they're babies, guys. They don't know that one day you're not going to be here. They don't know the value in learning these skills. They're following your lead. And if you keep giving them the option to wear a pull-up, you let them hand lead to the pantry versus communicating what they need functionally, and you allow problem behaviors to be rewarded with access to what they want or avoid access to the things they don't want to do, then nothing is going to change. And this is the thing, right? If I think all those shitty things on that slide, right? That the reason why it can't happen, I set the bar low. And your child with autism is just like every other human being on the planet, not just any human being with autism, any human being on the planet. I want to do the least amount to get the biggest payout, right? So if I'm setting the bar low as the parent, the kid's like, great, because I love the way shit is everywhere. I'm kind of like boy king or boy queen around here, and I don't see the reason to change. And as long as I don't see the reason to change, and you think I can't do it anyway, I'm good. See, it's almost like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy to live this shit life where nothing changes and your child doesn't grow. Does this make sense to everybody? Yes, these kids are smart. As long as you keep giving them the options to not grow, they're happy to stay where things are. It is your job as a parent. Remember that mom, that dad, that caretaker, that grandparent, that whoever, right? Holding that baby. This would never fucking be allowed. It's got to stop today. These babies are smart. They know exactly what they're doing. And if you set the bar low, your child will just meet you where that lands. They're like every other human being on the planet, right? When you raise the bar, your child has no choice to raise, but to raise to the occasion. Like with Juliana, I remember there was this time where I was teaching, we were having her try new foods for breakfast, and she cried and she whined and she didn't want to try it. And I just sat there and I sat through it because I knew I needed to be in the authority of somebody who said what they did 100% of the time. And eventually she ate it. She had no choice. My bar was here. She was whining and complaining. She wanted to keep it here. She was trying to negotiate, have Cheerios, have peanut butter and jelly, things that she liked. She didn't want to try the waffles. She went through her whole gyration. And then she had no choice. She had to rise because I wasn't accepting anything less. And that's how you guys have to be from this point forward as well. And you need the champion mindset. And this is where we're going to do some autism myth busting, right? You guys are going to have a lot of shit rolling around your head. If you guys are struggling with the potty training and the communication, the problem behaviors, we got to myth bust some of the thoughts that are rolling in your head that you think are fact, but they're not true. What are your thoughts around your child learning the big three? Tell me right now in the chats. What are your thoughts? Do you think they're capable of learning the big three? Do you think you're capable of teaching them? Does autism mean cancer to you? Do you see autism as a death sentence? Because it's not. The number one reason stopping your child from being on a path of independence is your thoughts about it. And your thoughts are creating your results with your child with autism. Your thinking needs to be setting yourself and your child up for success when it comes to potty training, communication, and stopping problem behaviors. And here's what I do. If you need a thought that you're not sure about any of this, presume competence. I want you to think about in your head that one of the things you guys will say is like, oh, they don't understand what's going on. I want you to tell me how that's fucking wrong. With my daughter, the come to Jesus moment for me with my daughter was teaching her the sign for cookie. And when she finally got it, I was so shocked because up to that point, I thought she was gone. I cried. I thought she was gone. I thought she was on her own island and we were here. And when I saw that, it was like, holy shit, this whole time she was here. I wasn't even talking to her. I don't want you to spend another day thinking those shitty things about your kid. And that's what we have to do. So if you're struggling with what you're believing about your child with autism, you've got to presume competence. All thoughts have to be in alignment for the results we want for the big three. And this is the single most important thing you need to know tonight. All thoughts you have about the autism and about the potty training and about the communication, the problem behaviors are optional. I get to choose what thoughts I want to get behind to get new actions, new emotions, and results, different results that I'm living now. And that's what this program is all about. And I help parents like you to think intentionally to get the results you want for your child with autism. Listen, I've got beautiful tactical. I've got amazing tactical to get the big three done. It's my jam. 100% success rate I have in my masterclass. If you come to that program, you do the work, by the time you leave with what you came for every time. But it's not just about that. I've got to stoke the fire of belief in you. Right now, you have limiting beliefs, you have thought errors about your child, and it's keeping you and them stuck. When I had that moment, everything changed for me. And I need you guys to be in that moment now. Show up like that mom now. And don't stop until you get what you came for. I remember thinking, like, is it dangerous? Is it dangerous for me to advocate, to get on my soapbox and tell every parent with a child with autism? Some of you probably been told that your kids are going to end up in a group home. They'll need forever care. Is it dangerous for me to come out here and tell you to swing for the fucking fences for your child? That every child on the spectrum, I believe, should and can have an independent life, and it's dependent on us. We are the gatekeepers to that progress. And is it dangerous for me to say that? And here's what I want us to think. I really thought about this. I've been thinking about this over the last year, and this is in celebration of my girl, who I didn't even know the life we live now was what was going to be in store for us. I did not, when I had that night where I was thinking, I'm going to die one day, who's going to care for her when I was gone? I had to fucking swing for the fences, even if I was going to miss. Because when I swing for the fences, when I show up in that energy, like I'm giving it everything I got, for a while there, up until she was in kindergarten, I believed I could cure her of her autism. I really believe that. And you know what? I know now that that's not true, but it fucking served me well, because there was nothing that deterred me. Every time we tried something that didn't work, and boy, 85-90% of what I tried didn't work. But if I thought of all of those things as fails, I would have just stopped. My head would have been in the couch cushions. I would have been done. All I thought was like, nope, that just isn't what works. And every time I find something that doesn't work, it's going to put me one step closer to what does. See how it's really the same scenario, right? You guys are struggling, right? And you might have these thoughts about why you're struggling. And the thoughts about why you're struggling are keeping you stuck. But if you looked at the thoughts about why you're struggling and say, you know what, maybe it's just that the reward. Maybe it's just I have diapers on. Maybe it's just that they'd rather sign than use PECs, which is what happened with my daughter, right? If I have that belief that there's something out there, I just need to find it. Swinging for the fences shouldn't even be a fucking option. So whether it lands or it doesn't, your child deserves a parent that fights like that to the very end. And that's the biggest message I want everybody to walk away with. Is it dangerous for me to tell every parent in here, no matter where your child falls on the spectrum, even if they have multiple diagnoses, even if they're older, that they can live an independent life? I think it's dangerous not to say it. You're their parent. If you don't fight for them, who will? You have nothing. What's the worst that can happen if we swing for the fences and we miss? We're going to be disappointed. Well, disappointment queen here. I've been disappointed so many times, right? I tried more things with Juliana that didn't work than that did. And I would do it all over again. I do it all over again in a heartbeat. And that's what I want you guys to understand. And when you show up like this, the results are going to be so beautiful. And by the way, this is hysterical that my team picked this picture. I crocheted that hat for her. It was like a hat, a muumuu. She did not want to fucking wear it. It took me like an hour of crying and running around the house. She kept taking it off and putting it back on. I take it off, put it back on. We're wearing it. I crocheted it. You're wearing it. It was hysterical that they should. I remember this. My struggle with her. The struggle is real. She didn't want the feel around her ears, and I tried to make it bigger and everything. And she finally wore it. And the results of showing up as a parent who does not quit on her child. You will be more compliant. You will be more confident that you can teach your child anything. You'll be less stressed. You and your child will have more freedom. And your child will be independent. It will happen. This is Kimberly. She was one of my OGs. I started this program 3 years ago. This month is the anniversary of the Champions for Our Children Masterclass. 3 years ago, I started my masterclass. And when I started it, Kimberly was one of my first members. She's like a founding member. And she just sent me this email this year. She said, when I found you, Easton was 3 and I couldn't get a firm diagnosis. He had very few words, 0 social skills, and was not potty trained. I found you the same day as our IEP meeting. That day I was defeated and overwhelmed after they asked me to list some of Easton's strengths. I sat there in tears as I struggled to come up with an answer. I had to find help, and luckily I found you. It's been 2 years since I joined the masterclass, and today I had a meeting with the school regarding his kindergarten placement. He's set to start in a general education class 80% of the time. He is fully potty trained, has had no aggressive behaviors. His speech is blossoming, and he tells me he loves me every day. I know beyond a shadow of a doubt, had I not found you, we would not be here. I want you to know the work you do is so appreciated. It truly made all the difference in my life, and most important, Easton's life. Why couldn't Easton's story be your story? You have literally turned my life around, and I can tell you enough that what this means to our family, you're truly a lifesaver. And here's another mom. I just joined the program, and it's empowering and an eye-opener. Please try it. You won't be disappointed. She has a panel of experts besides herself that are invaluable to the process. I will never give up. He will be successful and independent. Amen. I want this for you guys too. Michelle, I was busy on the phone, and then I realized my child wasn't where he was sitting. Come to find, he was in the bathroom. He pulled his underwear down. He's doing number 2. And I'm crying ugly, happy tears. And I had to share. So let me ask you guys, would you like my help to help you get your child the big 3? Can you put it in the chat? Would you like some help? Yes. Yes. I love it. Yes, absolutely. Yes, please. Hell yes. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So what every child needs for a chance of life of independence, right? We're going to thumbs down on those pull-ups. We're going to get them potty trained. We got to get them communicating. Yes, I love it. Kisses. I'm going to help you all. Kisses. We need to get them communicating. And we need to stop those problem behaviors. Cody wanted to shout out too. So the way I see it, you got 2 options. The first option is you can go, leave tonight, and figure this out on your own and end up frustrated and exhausted. Or you can go with option 2. You can follow a tried and tested path from stressed to successful. Tell me what your option is. Option 1 or option 2? Which would you prefer? 2. I love it. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Love it. I love it. All right. Now I want to paint a picture for you today. And I love it. 2 is kissing. I'm going to help everyone. 200. You got it. I love it. All right. I want you to imagine this day for you. Now, this was Juliana's 11th birthday. We celebrated 2 weeks ago because she wanted to go to this this sleepaway event at an indoor water park, and her friends, we had to coordinate the time because we took 2 of her close friends with her. And I want you guys to kind of close your eyes, and I want you to imagine a Sunday morning in your home and your baby. You wake your baby up out of bed. And I don't care how old you are. My daughter will be 50 and I'll be 30, what it be, 85, and I'll always be your mother, right? She'll always be my baby. And I want you guys to close your eyes, imagine a Sunday morning, and you wake your baby up out of their bed. And when you see the sheets come off them, they're wearing underwear because they're fully potty trained now. And then you hear their little feet scurry into the bathroom all by themselves. And you see them pull out their little stool, or they just hop right onto the toilet, and you hear them peeing in the toilet. Then that child jumps off the toilet, puts on their underwear, flushes the toilet, washes their hands, comes out to you in the kitchen, and is able to communicate with you that they would like eggs for breakfast. Tell me what that would feel like to have a day like that. Tell me in the chat. What would it be like to have that day? Amazing. I'm crying. Crying with you. The best gift on earth. Wonderful as hell. Amen. A dream come true. My joy would be full, life-changing, a wonderful gift. I love it. Heavenly. What a beautiful word, heavenly. My biggest dream, my best day of my life. Well, this is what we do in my program, and I want to invite you into it. And this is introducing the Champions for Our Children Masterclass. This is what I do. And this is a card that Juliana got right as she went into kindergarten. I'll never forget it. And it said, "Dear Juliana and family," this is from her speech therapist. And it said, "Thank you for the gift card and the gift card and the sweet card. It was truly been a pleasure working with Juliana for the last 1.5 years and watching her blossom. She has made more gains in skills than I've ever seen in my 25 years of experience. I can't imagine what the future holds her. She is going to soar." This is a card that you have coming for your baby too. So why would you join the Champions for Our Children Masterclass? If you joined us, you're going to get personalized strategies for exactly where your baby's at. We are going to get a potty trained child. If you're here for potty training, that's my jam. I have a 100% success rate for potty training, communication, and stopping problem behaviors. You're going to start to reconnect with your child because communication is finally going to be in place. And we're going to get to the root level of your child's problem behaviors and treat it, not just treat the symptom. When life happens, we're going to help you to get back on track. If a regression happens, we're going to tell you exactly how to handle it. And we're going to learn from trial and error rather than quitting on our kids. That's the only true fail of an autism parent, is quitting. We're going to teach you how to build that champion mindset so you no longer have to worry about autism every minute of every day. And you're going to get your independence back too. One of the byproducts, I've heard so many families say, should I quit my job? Do I need to quit my job? I need to stop my dreams because this child needs all this care. I want you to get your life back. It's a beautiful byproduct of joining the masterclass. And you're going to get mastery of my 3 pillars. And we're going to talk about that now: knowledge, belief, and support. And these are some of our masterclassers. I've been so excited. We've been working hard with our son to learn his name and be able to say his name when someone asks. He finally got it yesterday and now can answer that question anytime. Finally, big win. This is for you moms who are waiting to hear your baby say, "I love you," or say their name. Michelle, I just want to email you and let you know the progress. Just 36 hours into adding the tablet as a potty incentive, and Audrey woke up this morning and went to the bathroom, and her pull-up from the night was dry. I honestly think this is the 3rd time in her life that this has happened. She is definitely reward-driven. I'm so excited and curious to see her process as we continue. Just want to say thank you for your support. And this is from my mom, Caitlin, and I don't know if she's here tonight, but she was one of my she held out. She was on the fence from joining for like a month or 2. And when she joined, boom, this happened within a matter of weeks in my program. Michelle, you're freaking amazing. Thank you so much for helping me with this. 24 hours after I jumped off the call, everything you said was so true. I needed to stop giving her allowances because she has autism. I think the biggest reason why she can't do anything is because of my fears. I was late in potty training initially because it was easier for us to do the pull-ups. How many of you understand how this feels? Also, other kids her age were still in pull-ups, and therapists and doctors made it more accessible for me to not potty train her. Last night, you helped me flip a switch. I have always said I'm her biggest advocate, but yet I was holding her back. Thank you very much, Michelle. You're truly the best. I think the non-sugarcoating and calling me out on my BS, I like to call myself a velvet hammer. I say it with love. I always try to give it to you. I give it to you straight, but I try to say it with love, right? So I say, she said, I think the non-sugarcoating and calling me out on BS was the best. Tonight was a success, not just for Jordan, but for me too. Thank you again. So here are the 3 pillars. Here are the 3 pillars you need to become a champion for your child. Number 1, you need education. Number 2, you need support. And number 3, you need community. So when you join the masterclass, it is a group coaching program with guaranteed results. And what you get when you join, the first part is education. We're going to teach you how to potty train. We're going to teach you how to communicate. We're going to teach your child how to communicate. We're going to teach you how to stop those problem behaviors. We're going to teach you how to do social skills. My picky eater protocol. My daughter is taking me through the ringer. So I've full-on courses that you're going to have lifetime access to in my study vault. You're going to get mindset training. You're going to stop eloping. We build out this vault every month, and you get lifetime access to it. So you can do it in 30 days. You can deep dive. You can take your time because you have lifetime access to this web port of hours and hours of courses and knowledge. And it's a collection of programs that I think makes me the Harvard of autism. The second thing you get when you join the masterclass, you get support. And what you get is lifetime access to the study vault of courses, but you're also going to get 3 to 4 weekly group coaching calls with me and my experts. So you're not doing this alone, right? You have the study vault. I love the study vault because it's going to give you the opportunity to get reinforced with what we do, like the fundamentals of all the tactical, but then you're going to get on the calls with me and my experts so that I can help you craft that blueprint. And every week we're going to meet and keep building on that process. And the first call each week is with me. I'm an autism mom like you. I'm a life coach, and you're going to come to my call and we're going to craft that first plan for you, whether it's potty training, communication, problem behavior. We're going to work on one at a time. I always say we major in one, minor in the others. Then once we solve for the one we're majoring for, we switch it out. And that's how we're gonna nail it. And you're going to come to your first call and we're going to personalize that plan to get you off and running to get this goal done. And every week you're going to come back and you're going to say, okay, Michelle, this is what I did, what worked, what didn't work. And we're going to keep building on that progress every week over the course of 90 days. So there's no way you don't get what you come for. In addition to that, the second call each week is with the BCBA. I know some of you guys are wait lists for ABA. Some of you have access to ABA, but you have never had access to the ABA that we do. And I love a pairing, loving relationship between therapist and child, between parent and child. And you're going to learn from my team. We have Armando, Melissa, and Stacy. And Armando, our male teacher for many of our boy families out there, but also an adult with autism. You're going to get to hear from somebody who knows what it's like who knows how your child's brain works, because his brain works the same way. And he's going to help you to problem solve for all the things that we want to help our baby solve. In addition to this, your third call each week is going to be with a mindset coach. I like to call this your therapy session in a box. You guys got a lot of shitty thoughts going on. One of the big ones was the consistency, right? Oh, I know if I was consistent, then I would get potty training done. But if that were the case, the reason why it's so fascinating when you guys say that, and they say, okay, if I gave you a blueprint and I sent you off and they told you, if you follow this blueprint in 2 weeks, your baby will be potty trained, would you do it? You'd say yes. That's what we like to call in the program, I believe it before I see it energy, right? I'll believe it when I see it energy. But when we're trying to work on having a different life than we have now, you got to step into the energy of a boss mom that gets what she comes for every fucking time. And to do that, I got to get out of stinking thinking like that. And that's what this call's about. I want you to understand that your brain has 60,000 thoughts a day. Most of them are shitty. And it's not because your brain is trying to sabotage you on purpose. It's not because your brain is broken. Your brain's job is to keep you safe. And even though you desperately want a potty trained communicating child, your brain is like, yeah, I know that's what you want, but we can survive here. And that's my number one job. So it keeps feeding you all of the autism bullshit stories as to why this can't happen. And then when I try to be consistent and, the child pisses on the floor the first time, I say, see, this doesn't work. And I half-assed it out of the gate anyway, because I didn't think the kid could do it because of the autism. And I'm now in my crazy 8. And that's what this mindset call is. I want you to train your brain. As a human species, one of the beautiful gifts we have is that we get to hear our own thoughts. But I also love this quote, and it's not mine, but I love it anyway. I say, the mind is like a furnace. It can warm your house or burn it down. You don't have to believe every thought that your brain presents you. And if most of it is to keep you in the cave, then most of it is hurting you and hurting your child. And this is what this call is about. We want to get you right about the way you work, get you understanding that the thoughts you're thinking are what's keeping you stuck, not your child's autism. And everyone gets their questions answered on these group coaching calls. Support is my North Star with this program. So when you join, you get lifetime access to the study vault. You get 3 to 4 live group coaching calls every week. And then you also get monthly specialist calls. We've got Jessica. She's a speech language pathologist. She's an autism mom and a graduate of my program. So you're going to get to talk to her. We have Greer, who's also an autism mom, and she's a dietitian. She's going to talk to you about gut health. With some of our kids on the spectrum, gut health and cognitive ability go hand in hand. She's going to teach you if your child has diarrhea, constant diarrhea, or they're painfully constipated. She's going to give you strategies to get things moving again. Then you have Stephanie, our speech therapist. If you have a child that she's a feeding specialist, excuse me. If you have a child that's a picky eater like mine, she's going to help you with strategies to get your baby trying new food. And then we have Ashley. She's an occupational therapist. A lot of our babies on the spectrum have the fine motor issues. She's going to help you to give you activities that you can do with your child so that you can get that fine motor strength so they can unbutton, they can zip, they can write. They're going to need that, right? And everyone gets their questions answered. And when you join, you get lifetime access to the study vault. You get 3 to 4 group coaching calls a week. You get the monthly specialist calls, and then you join our community. And that's the third pillar of being an autism mom. I want everyone to say, I'm going to ask some questions. Anybody in here, anybody's kid ever smear their poop? Anybody's kid in here ever smear their poop? Yes. All right, mine too, by the way. She didn't smear. She had it in her hand in bath. All right, great. Yeah, anybody's kid in here ever hand lead you to the pantry for the cookie? Over the Graco tent. Yes, always. Yes. I want everybody to look in this chat. Right now, you feel like you're on a fucking island, but you are not. Look how many families are going through the same things that you are. How many kids here run away from home? They're elopers. How many kids, if you don't watch them every minute, every second, they fly out of the house? Yes. Scroll back into this chat. Right now, you're on an island. When you join this program, you become a part of my tribe. It's a community of parents that are going through exactly what you're going through. You're not going to be alone anymore. And that's the third pillar to being a successful champion parent. So when you come into my program, you get to join my Facebook community. And it's all forward-thinking parents like you that are working on the same skills as you. One of the biggest things that all of our parents say about the community is like, I thought I was the only one that was dealing with this. And you just saw in the chat how many people are dealing with this too. And this is what it's like in my masterclass. Not only are they dealing with the masterclass, they're solving for it. And you're going to watch it. You're going to get coached and you're going to watch them get coached. There's something so powerful about hearing another family struggling with the same things you are. So when you join my masterclass, you join our Facebook community. If you have questions in between calls, I mean, we're giving you so much support, but if you got questions between calls, if you need support from another family, you can tag them. You can tag the coaches. You can DM me. You can even email me in between calls if you have questions, because when you join this program, your baby becomes my baby too. This is by far, I don't know of any, I don't even think I have competition, but even if I did have competition, this is the best fucking program for any family who needs the big three. By large, I support you. I give you so much love and support. You are not alone anymore. You're not alone because you have experts in your corner, and you're not alone because you have parents that are doing this with you in your corner. And support is my North Star. So when you join the masterclass, you're going to have lifetime access to the study vault of courses, 3 to 4 weekly live group coaching calls. You're going to have monthly specialist calls, the private Facebook community. You're going to have access to me on email in between calls. Then you're going to get my action back guarantee. And if after 90 days in my program, 90 days is more than enough time to get potty training, communication, and problem behavior solved. But if after 90 days, in the unlikely event that you don't get what you came for, you stay in my program till you do, or I'll give you your money back. That's how solid I am in what I do. Everybody who comes, who does the work, who comes to the calls, leaves with what they came for. And you know what's amazing? When you join, you immediately step into the identity of a mother that says, or a father, or grandma, or great-grandma, because we got Karen here. She's my great-grandma in the masterclass. I don't leave until I get what I come for in life, in this program, from this day forward. And that's my guarantee to you guys. So when you join, lifetime access to the study vault of courses, 3 to 4 weekly live group coaching calls, monthly specialist calls, private Facebook community. You're going to be able to access me via email in between calls if you have any questions. You get the action back guarantee, but we're going to do some bonuses because this is Julianne's birthday month, and I'm a big shopper myself, and I love to give bonuses. So if you join the masterclass tonight, we're going to give you some amazing bonuses. Number one, if you join tonight, you're going to get a private session with our mindset coach. It's a 20-minute one-on-one session with Risa. She is a thought error sniffer outer. She's a thought error hound dog, and she's going to sniff out those thought errors that are keeping you stuck, and she's going to help you start believing different, more positive things about your child. It's a $500 value, and you're going to get one private session with her if you join tonight. In addition to that, you're also going to get 6 months in the program instead of 3. I never do this. 6 months in the program instead of 3. 3 is more than enough to get potty training, communication, and stopping problem behaviors done. But I like to give the incentive of 3 more months. Hey, let's work on picky eating. Let's keep building out those communication skills. Some of my moms can talk about this. They can talk about what it's like. You know, we get wants and needs done. Then we can get vocalizations. Then we can start talking in sentences. You'll get those 3 months of additional support with me and my team. And I'm doing this in celebration of my girl. This is a big month for us. So if you join tonight, 6 months in the program instead of 3. We're also going to be sending you a printed version of the Potty Pocket Guide. That's this thing right here. Not only is it going to be printed for you, it's going to be mailed to your house directly from me. And you're also going to have our toilet training data collection sheet. We printed a few of them on the back of it, so you'll be able to have everything you need to hit the ground running to potty train your child. And that's going to be sent directly to your home. And also, if you join tonight, you're going to get everything. You're going to have lifetime access to the study vault of courses, 3 to 4 live group coaching calls a week. You're going to get the private Facebook community, the monthly specialist calls. You're going to have email access to me. You're going to have our action back guarantee. You're going to get the private session with Risa. You're going to get 6 months in the program. You're going to get the printed guide sent to your house. And we're also sending you a CFOC mug. And I was designing this today, and I was like, oh, I wish I had one tonight, but I will have it and ship it to your house. And you know what's going to say on the back? Different is not less. Different is not less. And you're going to get this sent to your house, and I can't wait to have one too. All right, so you're going to get the mug. And then finally, if you join tonight, you're going to get everything that's on the screen. Lifetime access to study vault of courses, 3 to 4 live group coaching calls a week, private Facebook group, monthly specialist calls, email me between calls, email access to me, action back guarantee. Bonus 1 is the private session with Risa. Bonus 2, 6 months in the program. That's a typo. You're going to get 6 months in the program instead of 3. Printed copy of the potty guide, my beautiful mug that I'm in the middle of designing. Different, not less. And $500 off if you join tonight. So if I put all of this together, if I had to figure out the total value of everything I'm giving you, I mean, think about it. Lifetime access to a study vault that has hours and hours of knowledge, 3 to 4 live group coaching calls a week. I mean, think about the value that is. Monthly specialists. I mean, you're going to get to talk to these people every single time you come on our calls, right? You're going to get private Facebook community, email access to me. You get my action back guarantee and all these bonuses. The value is like $21,000, but don't worry. That's not what we're charging tonight. If you join tonight, it's 6 payments of $440 or a one-time payment of $24.97. If you make the one-time payment, you save a little more money. And you get all of this support, my guarantee for results or your money back. You show up, you do the work, you don't get what you came for. I'm going to give you your money back. I'm taking all of the responsibility because I am in this to see your baby win. And my master classers, they're here. Shout out. I want a mug. Caitlin, you got a mug. Are you ready to get started immediately? Join us. I'm going to put a QR code on the screen. You can do 6 payments of $440. I've never done this before. My master classes can concur. Or one-time payment at $24.97. Link in the chat box. When you join, you're going to get a welcome email. You're going to get the calendar with all of the calls coming up for the following week. Every Sunday, you get a newsletter. It's going to tell you the schedule for the calls. And the link is in the chat box to join. You can also put your camera to this slide, and you can access the program. Soon as you join, we're going to send you a welcome email. We're going to get to work immediately to help you and your baby. And I want to talk one last thing about unicorn syndrome. And I hear this a lot, like, oh, Michelle, I'd really love to join you. Juliana just seems different than my child. Or my child has severe autism. And maybe this works for other kids, but it's not going to work for mine. My child's broken, or I'm broken. There's nothing out there that will change the trajectory for my child. This is unicorn syndrome, and it's a self-preservation state. Remember, we talked about that brain, right? That brain's going to make decisions just to keep you in the cave because that's its number one job. And if I stay here in the cave, I never put myself out there to have these hopes and dreams for my baby. And when it doesn't happen, I can't be hurt. Remember what we talked about earlier? I got to swing for the fences. My baby deserves a parent who does that. I can survive disappointment. Disappointment's a part of life. I can survive it. I guarantee all of us, tell me that everybody's been disappointed at some point in their life, majorly, that I can survive disappointment. And I'm not going to let unicorn syndrome stop me from helping my baby. And when I think this subconsciously, I can't risk trying and failing because I won't survive it. Your brain sees like shooting for the fences and missing as like life or death. It's as bad as chasing a bear, as far as being chased by a bear, as far as your brain is concerned. But once I can understand that this is why I'm doing this, is why I'm living this crazy loop, I can change it. And this is about you, not your child. Your self-doubt is stopping you from having your child have these life skills. And we need to change that today. So sitting in I don't know, or asking shitty questions with no real answers keeps you stuck and not taking action to help your baby now. Indecision is keeping you second guessing and losing precious time that you could be making progress. Nothing comes from an I don't know or a bullshit question you can't answer. Just decide. Decide you're not ready and you won't do the work, or decide you're nervous but you're willing to go for it. Give yourself the gift of a decision. Honor yourself and your child right now. If fears and worry are dominating your day and night, then join us. If there's something in you that identifies with what I've taught you today and it makes sense, take the leap of faith, join us. Saying yes will have you and your baby moving forward today. And you can be your child's number one resource, even if you think you're not technically qualified. What every child needs for a chance of a life of independence, they need that you need the education. You need to have those pillars: education, support, and community. You have these three pillars in my program, your child will have that life of independence. I say that with pride. I say that confidently. And for attending tonight, you get that those special bonuses we talked about. That's the private session with Risa, 6 months in the program instead of 3, a printed potty guide, $500 off, the CFOC mug. You click the link in the chat box. I've never even offered that payment plan before. 6 months, $440 for all of that support. So I guess I wanted to start. Before we start this, I'm going to take a pee break. We're going to do some raffles. This is the scan. You could scan that QR code to join the program. We already had some families join. I'm very, very excited to have you. My masterclass, just give us a shout out. Let everybody know how awesome it's been to be a part of the masterclass. I'm going to take a pee. I'm going to get Juliana. Who wants to hear from Juliana tonight? Who wants to hear from Juliana? Hey, it's awesome. Thank you. Awesome. All right. I'm going to take a pee break. I'm going to put this video on for you, and then we're going to get her and we're going to bring her back, and then we're going to do some Q&A. What were your biggest struggles prior to joining the program?
You know, I was going around and looking for organizations. I was looking for help.
So I started looking up online, and I'm like, I really need somebody who's been through.
There's no access to any kind of services over here in Ireland. Googling stuff and trying to find something.
I joined because I have a 3-year-old autistic son, so I knew I had to do something that I didn't know what to do.
Everything seemed to be waitlisted or just not available. To break it down to him, I had to have somebody break it down to me.
And that we got me worried. It got my husband worried and thinking, okay, we need to speak to PD.
I think my biggest struggle was understanding their potential.
I actually didn't know, like I was kind of relying on just the speech therapist.
I came in just feeling very helpless, very confused.
What can I do now that I haven't already done? You know, what would be the harm? What can I lose?
Before participating, we weren't making as much progress. It was slow progress.
I believe that I found you on Instagram.
She is very turned off by a lot of doctors and therapists and things.
I went back and forth, and I'm like, she's going to start ABA therapy on this day, and I told them that was my number one goal.
As everyone would be. I was a little skeptical because of how many times I have tried with Alexander.
On one end, I'm hearing, okay, she's, autistic, and, you qualify for a lot of services.
And when I go and try to inquire about, we can't service her.
I was looking for more to really help my son. He's 4, nonverbal, communication, social behaviors, and potty training.
Our son was like a year or two of potty training. He's 4 years old. He's autistic. And he had been hospitalized a couple of times because of potty training related issues.
So he has been tracking on the spectrum for some time. How do I get him talking? How do I get him pooping in the potty? I have spent tens of thousands of dollars on recovering my son.
All right, so now, I guess, where are you now? You and your child, now that you joined the program?
Doing really, really well. I think their ABA program here is wonderful. We got very lucky with that.
One word here or there, what it was that he wanted, but not necessarily saying I want it would be apple or this or that. And that has totally blossomed.
You guys saved my family.
Okay, so where I am now is where I kind of know that I'm in charge.
The changes in him in less than 2 months, I think it's been like 6 weeks, they're miraculous. The behaviors are decreased, the stimming has decreased, the listening to directions has increased, the language has increased.
One of those kids, like you tell her, I'm so proud of you, she'll just say it over and over. You're really proud of me, right, Mommy? Oh, you're so proud of me.
I'm not in the same place as I am right now, confidence-wise, and being hopeful that things can change. And I've seen so much progress in me myself.
I just, set those goals for myself and cross them off and once I did that for me, turn my focus 100% and then I was able to get the work done.
You helped me formulate the confidence in myself to realize I'm ready to really go for it. I would not have gotten through it. It went so much better than I ever could have imagined.
I started listening to the tips for Michelle. He's doing so much better. More eye contact for sure. We're working on talking, on saying some words.
Yeah, it went really well. Like the tips you guys gave me.
It doesn't seem like this big impossible thing.
I just been given something so precious.
He's more verbal, right lecture, and I'm so happy to be part of it.
We never in a million years thought that it would happen this early.
He's making a lot more sounds. He's now at that point where he's no longer frustrated since you and all of the teachers have given me all of the ideas and the strategies.
We all want our children to succeed. And it's just been wonderful.
Within a month of being in the program, Jude was potty trained, both number 1 and number 2.
He is crazy verbal right now. He's very independent. He's now able to focus on something else.
Would you recommend our program to any moms or dads that are going through this right now?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, I would definitely prefer anyone to this.
Guys, definitely, you guys need to do this program. It'll change you guys and your child's life tremendously.
100%. I do recommend it. You learn something new.
I would definitely suggest to go through this program for at least first 4 to 6 months.
You and your team help pull that out. It's amazing. It's amazing what you guys do.
I wish I had done this earlier. Probably would have, but it's not too late.
This program has allowed that and really good for that. Take this course, do the one-on-ones, listen and absorb everything that this team has to offer.
You guys have a gift. Even you're sharing it, and that's amazing.
So I will recommend to anybody, whoever's out there.
It's been really great. It's been really great. And
this is going to help you. You can learn through other parents' experiences.
Absolutely. And I have already been recommending Champions for Our Children.
It's amazing. I can't recommend the program enough.
Just do it. Don't hold back. Just go all in with your daughter or your son, and I promise you will definitely see results.
All right, we are ready for Q&A time. And before we do that, I wanted to address some of the comments in the chat. We're right here. We're right here. I'm sorry. I love that picture of you. You're adorable. You didn't like that? She says she doesn't like the picture. Okay, so before we get into coaching, we're gonna do Q&A. If anyone has any questions for Juliana, I have this box of, where's the box? We have a box of, let me have it. I'm picking the questions. All right, you get to pick the questions.
Yes.
We have a box. I'm going to ask her questions from this box. But if you guys have any questions for her, put it in the Q&A. Just put Juliana in front of it so I know they're questions for her, not questions for us. And I just want to address some of the comments in the chat. So I know some of you guys have loved the presentation tonight. I hope you have. I had a lot of fun being here with you. And some of you have expressed that, you know, you'd love to join, but this is expensive. And I want to really understand what that means for you, because here's the thing, you know, we all got into the world of having children, and we all know that that is expensive in itself. But I want you to think about, when anytime somebody says to me that they desperately want to work with me, but the money, the cost of the program is keeping them from joining, I want to understand what that means to you. Because when somebody says that to me, I always kind of question it. And here's why. I want you to think about in your life right now, something that you know that you couldn't live without, that you know the value of, that you know, like this is mandatory for our lives. And I always use the example of the refrigerator, right? I have a fridge. I'm assuming you all have a fridge, right? And if that thing broke, no matter what, you would always find no matter what your money circumstances are today, you're going to find a reason to repair or replace it, because I know it feeds the family, it keeps the food cold. It's something I know, like I know the value of ahead of time. It's almost a little bit like that. I believe it before I see it energy, right? But your brain knows what that brings to the family. So when that breaks, it's like, yeah, we got to figure out what we're going to do. We're going to problem solve to create whatever we need to do to get a new one or get it repaired. And here's what I want to present to you, that I consider myself a master problem solver. When it came to Juliana and it came to the diagnosis, I didn't have any experience with that, but I had spent most of my life being this master problem solver. And no matter what life adversities were thrown at me, I could solve for every one of them. And it was just a thought I believed about myself. So when this happened to us, when this came into our world, I knew that, you know, even though I was devastated at first and I didn't know what it was going to mean for us, I knew I wouldn't stay there because I'm a master problem solver. So when I think about something in my life, or think about something in your life, or like a refrigerator or a car or whatever, something you know you couldn't live without, and you tell me that, you know, money's the reason why you won't join this program, is it because you don't understand like the value of what it is that you're leaving on the table today? Can you continue to afford paying the cost of not getting your child potty trained, not get your child communicating, not get your child stopping their problem behaviors? Because I know that if you believed in what this is, and you, right? We talked about earlier about swinging for the fences. Even if I miss, I have to swing. And that means that even if I don't know, even if I don't know the how, I'm coming for it. And if I believe that, no matter what, I'm going to find a way, just like I'd find a way to fix the fridge. So I'm not acknowledging that this is an investment, but I want you to think what it's costing you not to solve for the problem behaviors, not to solve for the lack of communication that your child has, not to solve for paying for the diapers and wipes and the time it's taking you to change it, and how it's costing you mentally and emotionally that this isn't happening. And if I can find the money for the things I know bring value to my life, I have to believe that this has value. It's, as far as I'm concerned, more valuable than your fridge. Okay, so I say this with love. I understand what you're all going through, but I want you to think about this. This is about, if I want a different life, I've got to make different decisions. And when you problem solve for something like this, right, when you become that, you step into the identity of a master problem solver, you'll always be able to solve for this problem moving forward, especially if belief is behind it. If I believe that my child deserves nothing more than me swinging for the fences, whether I miss or not, that my child deserves that opportunity, and this is the program that's going to do it, then I'm going to become a master problem solver to figure out my way to join that program. Okay? All right, all love, I say that. Kisses. All right, who wants to hear from Juliana? Let's see. No questions for you in the Q&A. You get to pick a question here, and then we're going to say hi to Armando. Come on, pick a question. And come closer so everybody can see you. Almost got to stand up, I think, because I don't think they can see you very well. Can you guys see Juliana? Let's see here. I put a question above. Does Juliana remember how she felt when she wasn't able to verbally communicate? Do you remember doing sign language?
No.
She doesn't remember doing sign language. Do you remember this was the sign for cookie?
No.
And this isn't the sign for cookie, by the way. This is the American Sign Language, is the sign for more, but I don't teach more, give me, please, or thank you, because I can more, give me, please, everything. So I made every sign that we taught her intentional. So you don't remember that. Do you remember any time where it was hard for you to express your emotions? How about that?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, even now.
Yeah, only a little.
Like what emotions are hard for you to express?
I don't know.
She doesn't know. All right. Let's ask some easier questions here. Do you feel different?
No.
No, she doesn't feel different. I love that one. Okay. Hi, Juliana. Yes, I can see her, sweet girl. Did you have a device? No, we taught her with sign language. Okay. Let's read some questions here. Go ahead.
How do you feel about me getting older?
How do you feel about me getting older?
Yeah.
No, how do you feel about getting older? How about that? I already know how I feel about you getting older. I need you to stop growing. How do you feel?
I feel like it's good to get older.
Speak louder.
I feel like it's good to get older.
Louder.
I feel like it's good to get older.
Why is it good to get older?
Because like you could do more stuff.
What can you do? What other stuff are you're so excited to get older for to do?
Well, yeah, you also have to.
Speak up.
You also have to pay for your own stuff.
You have to pay for your own stuff. You're not looking forward to that though, right?
No.
All right, pick another question. I think maybe you'd be looking forward to, I don't know. Being a parent. She's looking forward to being a parent. Would you be like me or would you be like daddy? Ooh.
I don't know.
It's a safe answer. Trust me, Juliana, stay a child forever.
This is easy. What fear?
Say it loud.
What is one fear that you have?
What is one fear that you have?
Roller coaster going upside down.
She's done it before. This is baloney. You're really killing me with that because we want to go to Great Adventure, and Cody, your brother's a thrill seeker like his mom. So we got to make sure you're a thrill seeker too.
I'm a thrill seeker on water slides.
Oh, thrill seeker on water slides.
I was on the drop slide.
Aw, come on, keep talking. You got to speak loud so they can hear you.
Think we can handle that conflict as a family. Would you change anything?
Oh, how do you think we handle conflict? She's going to out our dirty laundry here. How do you think we handle conflict as a family, and would you change anything? Ooh. Like the other night when you guys were fighting about something and mommy came up with a resolution. How did you feel about that? What was it about? Do you remember?
About what?
The last fight that you and Cody had and how we came to a resolution. Do you remember what the fight was? Cody's her brother, if you don't know.
Litter box.
Oh, doing the litter boxes. That's right. So we have a robot litter box and we have a other litter box. And we actually toilet trained the cats, but we have very big cats. And when we got to the final ring, the cat kept falling in the toilet. So we had to go back to the litter boxes, but they could do it. So she didn't want to change you wanted to change the robot and he had to change the other one. And did you like the way that we conflict resolution that?
No.
No. Why?
Because you made me do the hard part. You made me clean up after you made me wash the thing.
Oh, yeah. She had to do more cleaning. Okay. All right. Does she realize how she's helping other people with her story? I tell her, do you realize?
Yeah.
You see, we have every time you guys join my masterclass, I always say, send me a picture of your baby. Anybody who's joining tonight, send a picture of your baby. And I put it up on my wall and I show her. And every day she came home, she's like, who's that kid? Who's that kid? Who's that kid?
Yeah.
Everyone's saying it's a superpower.
And the fact that I'm not on that mirror.
That you're not on that mirror. You're right here. You're right here. You're right here. You're right here. You're right on my screen. All right. Let's do one last question and we'll send you on your way. God, you get to pick. One last question. Make it good. Two more. She wants to do two more. Okay. You need to get your kid up there. You got to join this program. Put that kid up on my board. All right. Juliana, you're a happy, beautiful, smart girl. Happy 11th birthday. Aw.
Hello, can I speak?
All right. She's going to speak now. Go ahead. You're hysterical.
If you could time travel for a day.
Ooh.
For a day, what would you do? I'd go back 65 million years ago so I could see dinosaurs.
Oh, it said if you could time travel for a day, what would you do? And she said she'd travel back how many years? Say it loud.
Millions of years.
Millions of years because
I want to see dinosaurs.
She wants to see dinosaurs. Oh, all right. All right, give me one more. Everyone's so happy to hear from you. Everybody loves this. I'm going to have you on more often. Everybody loves to hear from you.
Well, I had a special one.
She was supposed to be at swim tonight. And she was going to come in after swim, but then she started to like run a little bit of a fever, like a 99. Is she right? You feeling better now because we gave you the medicine?
She never did.
Oh, she used, she'll avoid any, medicine, anything. She'll tell me she'll do it. And then she's a master procrastinator. Okay, here you go.
This is the one I wanted.
Read it loud.
When have you ever felt embarrassed at school? What happened?
You're going to share this?
Yeah.
All right.
I got diarrhea at school.
Tell everybody what happened.
No.
She got the poops at school. She pooped her pants and she had to like do a little scuffle to the bathroom, to the nurse's office, and they called me to pick you up and bring a change of clothes. You remember that?
Yeah.
So there you go. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming. Absolutely loved it. And you can go play. You want to say one last word to everybody? You want to say goodbye to everyone?
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Say see you next time.
See you next time.
All right. We'll see you soon.
One last look for questions.
Oh, one last look for questions. Anyone give her one last question? She's loving this. Now I can tell. Lovely. I'll give you one last question. Let me think.
We're pulling from there, right?
Yeah, I'll pull from here. I'll give you one last question from here.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Oh, what would you tell a parent who needs help with her daughter? Ooh.
I don't know.
She doesn't know. All right, you talk to me about that one. All right, what's your favorite thing that you did on your birthday? Ooh, tell them this. Can't say it.
We went to the American Dream Mall to DreamWorks Water Park.
Amazing. She loves water rides. All right, awesome. All right, well, thank you for coming, honey.
Especially extreme ones.
I love it. Amazing. So who wants to hear another amazing autism story? Because Armando's here tonight. Armando, you have a couple of minutes just to give a quick hello?
Yes.
Can you put your camera on? There he is.
Hi, everyone.
So Julianne is what autism can look like at 11. Armando is what autism can look like at what? You're 30 now? Are you 30?
30. I don't like to admit it, but yes, I am 30.
This old fucking guy. All right. Yes, you can go. All right, Armando.
Yes.
So give us the cliff notes of your story.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm sorry, you guys won't be as cute as Juliana, but I'll do my best. So I was diagnosed at age 3, and doctors told my mother that I might as well learn sign language because I was never going to be able to speak. Since then, obviously, I've been able to learn how to speak. I've been a special education teacher, a board certified behavior analyst. Michelle and I actually met when I was still hosting a podcast. And now I own the only autistic owned ABA company in Houston, Texas. So it is such a pleasure to work with Michelle. I've worked with her now for the past 2 years.
Whoa.
I know. Crazy.
The time flew, dude. The time flew. Awesome. And if you join the masterclass tonight, you get to speak to Armando, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Awesome. So tell us about like your experience. Like, I want you to tell him, because one of the questions that came up for Juliana, did she remember being nonverbal? And she didn't remember, but you do.
Yes. Yeah. So I remember being nonverbal and having that frustration of not being able to tell my, my wants and needs. But for me, it was frustration that led into behaviors. So some aggression, tantruming, self-injury for quite some time. And as I got older, it was more and more significant to me as I learned more communication. And that's what really helped me out, right? So I still struggle socially through some things, and I still learn quite a bit, but I've been very fortunate to have such a supportive family, as well as now a supportive wife. I've been married for 1 year now.
Awesome. So when Armando was diagnosed, your mother didn't have, like, we're very lucky in the United States now anyway, that we have access to ABA, but they didn't have access to any of that, right? Back then they had none of that.
No, they did not. Specifically in Texas as well, that wasn't, ABA wasn't considered insurance based. And so it was going to be all out of pocket. We didn't grow up with a lot of money, so we didn't have that opportunity.
Got it. So I think it's really interesting for everybody to hear. So when you were nonverbal and you were frustrated and you couldn't communicate, would that come out in like behaviors?
It did. And that's what I was referring to earlier. So it was either headbanging in the sense of like against a textbook or a book of some kind, or I used to also bite between my finger and my thumb.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still some marks that you can see every now and then. And that was my way of communicating. But since then, obviously, I've been able to speak much more than that.
Got it. Got it. All right. We have a question here. Armando, my son is 11 and nonverbal. Is it possible for him to communicate? Aisha, I want you to answer that first, but yeah, you tell her, Armando.
Yeah, absolutely. From a behavioral perspective, again, I'm a board certified behavior analyst. And so we believe that behavior is simply communication. It may be inappropriate communication, but it's still communication nonetheless. And so what we do in its place is to replace these kind of problem behaviors. And even if a child is nonverbal, providing them an ability to give their wants and needs to those around them.
Got it. I love it. So what we teach in the program is a bridge form of communication. So no matter what the age, I believe that if a child makes sounds, even if a child uses words non-functionally, I believe that the child can make intentional sounds for words. So all I need is that ability to be vocal, and then I can shape that. And how we do that in the program is that if you have a child that just makes sounds, we teach them a bridge form of communication. So I always imagine like thought here, voice here, and the neural pathway between the two is asleep. And when it's asleep, I need to kickstart it. And when a neurotypical child, that gets kickstarted automatically by osmosis, right? By like listening to people chatter, watching movies, hearing songs. But our children on the spectrum need a little bit of a help. And that's the bridge form. That's when we teach them sign language, PECS, or AAC. And when you join my program, we're gonna baseline where your child's at, and then we're gonna start to create strategies to get this going. All right, so Armando, I want to ask you. So your mom didn't have ABA. You potty trained at 5, and we did a whole podcast with Armando and his mom. You guys got to check it out. It's from last week. So you potty trained at 5. You didn't start communicating till 7. What was it that helped you actually finally get the words out?
I mean, I would really honestly like to say it was my family and that support system. And you mentioned it earlier. I've been here since the beginning of the presentation, that it was their ability to not see me as a victim and see that ability within me that allowed me to believe in myself, right? And being able to know that there were expectations and there were requests made by my family that were able to better support what I was able to think I could accomplish.
Amazing. So out of all the things that you've tried, all the things you've been exposed to, what would you see was the needle moving thing that helped you to be where you are today?
If it was not, and I've said this time and time again, but if it was not for my family, I would not be here today. I would likely not be able to speak if my mother believed in what the doctor had told her. I would certainly not own what is now a flourishing business in Houston if it was not for my family. In addition to myself, I run it with my sister. I have the support of my mother and my wife. And I cannot stress this enough. And I try and do this in every meeting I have in the group calls, that you as that mother, that father, that guardian are your child's biggest support system, and just keep believing in them. And that's really going to take them really far.
Amazing. So, all right. So quick question for you is, what if somebody's on the fence about joining the masterclass tonight, why should they jump off the fence and do this program? What are the reasons that you think that this is the best fucking place a parent with a child with autism could be?
There is a plethora, a large amount of professionals that are here. So you have 3 board certified behavior analysts, speech therapists, occupational therapists, any kind of therapist out there. It is a part of that. And much more, one thing I've said previously in your classes is that you provide a tribe. I have a lot of my time outside of this is spent with parents that feel like they are alone and that they don't have anyone to speak to, but being able to have others in that same group know what you're going through has really changed the mindset of a lot of the parents that are in those group classes.
Amazing. And that's been like the key. And it's interesting because Armando gets a taste of both. He gets a taste of people in the community that he works with, and he gets a taste of the master classes. And what would you say from a mindset perspective, how the master classes line up with people who are out in the world trying to do this on their own?
I mean, it's just that, right? Where in the master class, it's, jokes or other people in the comment section saying, oh yeah, my child does that too, and all of these things. Whereas I'm meeting with the parent individually, and they're like, I don't understand. Like, I just feel like I'm alone. And it's really hard to hear that on a daily basis. And I tell my parents that I work with in the community, like, hey, just a couple hours later, I'm going to have the same conversation with another parent, and they don't believe me. And, I come here and I do these kind of group classes, and I'm surrounded by parents that are really just trying to support one another, regardless of state and even country sometimes.
Yeah, we have
and it's such a joy to be a part of.
Amazing. All right. So let's see some questions for you. Did you graduate with a diploma or certificate? What
Yes.
colleges can students attend?
Yeah,
Students like you.
I attended Texas A&M University twice for my bachelor's and then my master's, and then I received a board certification from the National Board for Behavior Analysts, and now I do this full time as a career.
Awesome. All right. Any last questions for Armando? And I'm going to do some coaching. Going once. You could say hi. This is Cody. He wants his time in the sun. Hi, Cody.
Hi.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great night, Michelle.
Thank you, Armando. We're happy to have you. All right. I just joined. Let's see. I have a question above. Let me see what that question is. You want to say hi? My child's almost 5 and using AAC primarily, occasionally, rarely says words and makes sounds. He spoke a lot more words when he was much younger. With the program focus on verbalizing and more use of AAC. So here's the thing. When the child is using a bridge form of communication like signs, AAC, or PECS, we want to create fluency around that. So first we want to see where we want to baseline. So when you join the program on our first call, when we talk, I'm going to baseline that skill with you. I'm going to ask you some questions, say, okay, this is where his starting point is. And then we're going to make a decision. My goal, I'm going for the gusto. We're going for vocal language, but I got to see where he's at. We got to crawl before we run. Okay. So I hope that was a helpful answer. All right. So let's do some coaching for some. Oh, wait, let's do some giveaways. Fuck, everybody's waiting for some giveaways. Pardon my potty mouth. Jen, you want to do some giveaways? Let's do the private session with Armando first. And then we'll do a $25 Amazon gift card. Then one private session with me, and then the 25, and then we'll do some coaching. We're gonna do the wheel of names. So everybody's here. Oh, everybody's saying hi, Cody. Hi, Cody. Yeah, he's not here, but I'll tell him no. All right, let's see. Let's see some other questions while we're Jen, are you ready to do wheel of names? There she goes. All right, she's doing wheel of names. This is for a 20-minute session with 30-minute session with Armando. Hold on, my son. Let's see. My son has a lot of nouns, but he doesn't communicate. Well, what we need to understand on that is, are they functional? Is he using those nouns functionally? Woohoo, giveaways. Yeah. We love giveaways. How can I join Armando's parent group? Armando's a part of the masterclass. You join Armando, you get to talk to him. Cody, I follow your mom on Instagram and you're a very talented dancer. I will let him know. All right. Karen, you got a 30-minute session with Armando. Lucky you. All right, Karen, I know how to find you. That's hysterical. All right, let's do the next one. We'll do an Amazon gift card. Nobody can win twice. Karen, that's hysterical. You're going to get a little 30-minute session with Armando. I'm going to have to bring Karen up too. She's a great grandma who's got her great grandbaby pie trained. If Karen can do it, you guys can do it. Hennifer soon. Send an email to Michelle at michellebrodgers.com. We will get you a $25 gift card from Amazon. All right, next one is a private session with me. We're going to do 20-minute private session. Here we go. Let's do another giveaway. Is my name in it? Everybody who's in here, your name is in it. Let's see. Okay, let's see here. Priya just joined. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you in the program. Frederica. Yay, Frederica. You want a private session with more? Email Michelle at michellebrodgers.com and we'll schedule that private session. All right, last giveaway will be $25 gift card to Amazon. Let's do it. Hi, Dorothy. How you doing? Somebody asked, do you feel as a parent you can still see signs of autism, or what does it look like? Elizabeth. Hopefully there's only one Elizabeth in here. Elizabeth, you were going to email Michelle at michellebrodgers.com. We're going to send you a $25 gift card. You have to be here to win. All righty. Perfect. So Michelle at michellebrodgers.com for all the winners. And all right, so let's do some coaching. But before we do some coaching, I want to verify. All right. I'm going to call you up. So basically, I'm going to convert you to a panelist. What that means is that your face is going to blink and you're going to come up as a panelist. We want you to show your camera, have good audio, be in a quiet place with good internet, and you can be coached. So that way everybody can get the benefit of us talking together. All right, so I'm going to start with Lori. I'm going to promote you to panelist. Okay, so let me answer this question. Do you feel like as a parent, you can still see signs of autism, or what does it look like? So Lori declined to be a panelist. All right. Anine, you are going to be next. We'll promote you to panelist. Here's the thing. I believe there were, up until Juliana was in kindergarten, I believed I could cure her of her autism. And you know what? It served me well. Even though I don't believe that now, I believe she'll always live her life as an individual with autism, but she'll live an independent life. I thought that thought served me well. So that's why thoughts, like the thoughts our brain present us, even if they're not true, if they serve us, then we can use them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Oh, all right, Renee, you're going to be you guys got to accept the invitation to be promoted to panelist. Renee Russo. Okay, yes, no one can cure autism. I get that. And here's what happened, right? So when I thought up until kindergarten that I could cure her autism, even though it wasn't a fact, it wasn't it wasn't an accurate thought, it served me well because I was so laser focused and determined to get her as many skills as I possibly could, because my goal at that time was get her integrated kindergarten. Integrated kindergarten was co-taught by a general ed teacher and a special ed teacher, and like a handful of the kids in there had IEPs, and the rest were gen ed kids. So I wanted her in that program. So when that happened, I felt like I was on the Rose Bowl parade, and we were out of the club. But then something happened at a birthday party where she wasn't picking up on the social cues of what she thought was her best friend. It turned out to not be her best friend. It was a cold fish to my face that, what if this means that, she's going to have age appropriate problems like any other child with a side of autism. And then I really did take the wind out of my sails for a minute, because I'm the comeback queen. So, I feel like I've been slayed by like even the autism diagnosis, or realizing in that moment that autism was here to stay. I said, what if she could have autism and live an amazing life? And that was the thought that I live with, carry with, hold the torch to, and teach you guys to believe as well, that your child can have autism and they can live an amazing life. And I think there's something so important to understand, is that we all think we got the shit end of the stick with our kids with autism. Right now, Cody's giving me more of a run for my money right now than Juliana. And what I want you to understand is that neurotypical parents have problems too. This ain't just a exclusivity that if you have a child on the spectrum, you have problems, and people with neurotypical kids don't. They just have different problems. And when I put it into that perspective, it's like I almost like appreciate autism, because with Cody, it's like it's not like I'm flying blind, but sometimes it's harder to figure out like the root of a situation to create the solve. With her, it's very, once I understand how that brain works, and it's very black and white and most times, then I can communicate with that brain on that frequency. I could teach it anything. And that's how I feel about her and her autism. So yeah, I can see signs in her. Sometimes I could be off. Sometimes you have to be able to gauge between like personality. Is that she's naturally shy? I wouldn't say that that's autism. I think her personality is naturally shy, but then there's other things that she does, like her fine motor issues. Those are autism. So yeah, I can see it, but you wouldn't be able to see it. Maybe you would be able to see it as another autism parent, but anybody else in the world, unless we told you she had autism, you wouldn't know. And you saw that tonight. And I'm not ashamed of her autism. I'm just saying this from a place of like, look how far she's come, and that's capable. Your babies are capable of that too. All right, Renee, sorry I went off on a tangent. How are you? You gotta unmute yourself, Renee.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? Why is this program not open to the public? We have a cost instead of getting it approved to be paid for through insurance. So this is the thing with insurance. The only time I've seen my program covered by insurance is through health savings plans or self-direct budgets through the state, like through state agencies. Insurance does not cover it yet. I'm fighting to see if I can change that. All right, Renee. So what's happening? Tell me about your baby.
I have a 7-year-old son with severe autism. He's stage 3. He's very bad. He tears up my house. He has some words. He repeats everything you say. He knows exactly what you say.
Yep.
But he has a hard time, like saying it. Like he says, mom, cup, cars, stuff like that. Not 2 or 3 word sentences.
Could he say any word?
Oh yeah, he'll repeat anything you say.
How does he? But he doesn't. How often is he using functional language to communicate?
Well, when he wants something, he'll say juice. He could say milk, nuggets, fries. Like he can say everything. And sometimes he can even answer, like my friend, we were in the car and they said for him to put his seatbelt on, and he told him to shut up.
Okay.
Like he can speak like one word.
Okay.
He didn't get autism until he was 3. He had 100-word vocabulary, and it took everything from him within 4 months.
Okay.
And it's been I'm a nurse, and I work with dementia, and I swear to God, like I'm trying to fix him. I've done almost everything. I've tried gluten, no gluten. I have him on a gluten digestive aid right now, trying to see if it's gluten. I don't know. I'm trying.
I want to show you something, and and here's the thing, right? And we're going to go over this. I'm going to help you with your exact question, which I'm not sure what it is yet, but I want to talk about some of the things that you've said. And here's what we talk about in my program. They're called thought errors. And whether or not they're true or false is not what makes them a thought error. What makes them a thought error is if they're keeping us stuck and not being able to help our child. So some of the things that Renee have said that could be thought errors that are blocking her from problem solving for some of the behaviors that she's seeing or the communication are these things. And you can put them in the chat if you picked them up. Severe autism, level 3, bad. And I say this with love. I'm bringing awareness. Awareness is the greatest gift. Because if I realize this is how I'm showing up and this is how I'm describing my son, this doesn't sound like a solvable problem. Do you see what I'm saying? Right? But some words here. So these are like the shitty ones. And then the good ones are some words. She believes he has full comprehension. Right? And another shit thought. I tried everything. This one's the kiss of death thought. And I want to know how many people here think they tried everything. Put it in the chat. How many people here think they tried everything and they feel like they've tried everything? When we think that thought is the total kiss of death for our children, because when we think it, the brain says, okay, I stopped working. There's nothing left to try. And if we think that as their parents, then there's no place to move forward.
I mean, not everything, but a lot, you know.
You can say you tried a lot. I can say I tried a lot. I can say I tried a lot more than a lot of you guys here, but I could never say I tried everything. In fact, even if I thought I could, I wouldn't say it anyway, because I feel I'm an idea machine. I always got ideas. You guys come to the program, I can solve for it. You see what I'm saying? So we want to look at this first, because when I'm trying to take action to potty train him, trying to take action to get him to communicate, trying to take action to stop his problem behaviors, but I also think, you know, he's got severe autism level 3, he's bad, he wrecks my house, he does all this shit. It's like you failed before you've even begun. But if I can focus on what he can do, and I take the same action, it's like putting gasoline on a fire. He has words. That means he can talk. He has full comprehension. Wow, that's amazing. Right?
And he knows, like, people, they be really fooled because you could say something to him and he knows, like, if you say, Ivan, go get me those shoes.
Yes.
Knows.
Yes.
He just can't get it out. Like,
well,
everything.
It's interesting, right? Because as far as he's concerned, if like, here's the thing that happens. We start believing that the severe autism, the level 3, his bad, he wrecked my house, I've tried everything, means that he can't do it. All this equates to is he can't talk. So when I think that, I'm not making a requirement that he has to use his voice. And he's like, fine, because I get what I need the way things are anyway.
And that's what he does, points.
Yeah, and as long as I can get what I need by pointing, I'll never use my voice full time. Do you see what's happening?
Yeah.
When I set the bar, and the only reason you're doing this is because you think of all these things, make it so that he can't talk. It's almost like a crazy 8. You guys set yourself in. I'm sorry, my handwriting's so bad. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy of failure. Because if I think all these things are the reason he can't talk, when I try to get him to talk, I'm half-assing it at best. Then when he doesn't, I'm like, see, it doesn't work. Here comes the crazy 8 ride.
Yeah, it's true though.
I know. Exactly. If I got to break the wheel, I got to break the chain and do something different if I want a different life. And it starts here. I've got to have, right now you have one foot planted in disbelief with all these shitty thoughts. And I would say that foot is really weighted in that section. And then you have another foot in belief of like what he's capable of. That's kind of like driving a car with one foot all the way down on the gas and one foot on the brake. And where's the car go? Nowhere. Right? So understanding first, the way that I'm describing him needs to change. I have to see him for what he's capable of, not what I want to see I want to build off of what he has, not mourn over what he doesn't have. Okay. So now what is your question? Did you want help with the behaviors? Did you want help getting him to communicate more? What is it that would, I always tell, if you join the masterclass, they say, great. Welcome to the masterclass, Renee. Tell me the first thing we want to work on that would improve quality of life in the home.
His communication.
Okay. So right now you're saying that because he sometimes uses behaviors to communicate because he wrecks your home. You had mentioned that, right? Okay.
He's tearing up papers and doing stuff he hasn't done. I don't know.
All right. Got it. So here's the thing. 9 times out of 10, problem behaviors exist because a child doesn't have a functional way to communicate. So the behavior becomes the way that they communicate.
Yeah.
So what we want to look at with him is how much of the time is he using functional language, even if it's just one word, like cookie, juice, cup, pizza? How much of that time is he doing that? And give me a percentage, and how many times is he pointing?
Maybe 50, because sometimes he'll say stuff and I don't know what he's saying.
Got it. So 50% of the time. So here's what we have to do. What we have to do for him is we've got to focus on getting that number up to 100%. If I had the opportunity 50% of the time to use one word, and then 50% of the time to point, which one is easier for him to do?
Point.
Yeah. So he's going to go to that always. And as long as you set the bar low with all those shitty thoughts you're thinking about it, you're allowing it. So now we're going to say, okay, listen, baby, you got to use your voice. Anytime you want something, you've got to vocalize it. We know because you've given me the baseline information. This is exactly what I do in the masterclass, that he has the ability to repeat anything, that anytime he wants something, he has to use the word. So let's say he brings you over the pantry and he points to the crackers. You're going to say cracker, say cracker, and then you get it. And then that's how you get it. Okay. And then what we're going to do is change this percentage. We want this to go down to 0 and this go up to 100. And then while we're doing this work, this is what happens. And this happens with Bridge too. You don't have to have a vocal child to get vocalization. She just happens, her starting point happens to be a child that already has vocals, right? What happens is when you start requiring language, it starts stimulating neural pathways in the brain. I can't even explain it. This is what I saw as a mother. It's not even technical. I don't even have any medical book to base on, only what I saw. When she started using signs, she was more engaged with me. She had to come find me wherever she was to get what she needed to show me the sign. So he's going to become more engaged and starts firing shit on all cylinders in their brain. And then the chatter starts to increase because now he's starting to see the value of what his voice gives him. Remember, secret one, we've got to create desire and value in our child to want to learn to use these skills. So
like when he says a new word, I always give him like a high five. Like I try to make a big deal.
Yeah, but the idea is to get him to repeat it. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
So what we want to do is so right now, anytime he gives you the word without prompting, you're going to give him lots of praise award and give him the thing immediately. I'd even double give it to him, right? I really want to show him, baby, using your voice is going to get you so much more than when you point, you get nothing.
Yes.
And if you say, you bring him over to the pantry and he wants the crackers and you say cracker, 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 and he doesn't say and he walks away, then he doesn't get it.
Yes.
Make sense?
Yes.
Was that a good starting point for you?
It was wonderful.
Did you love tonight?
I loved it.
Oh, awesome. All right. Well, you need to
never get picked. I never win anything. I'm just so happy I got picked. I feel like I won the lottery, you know.
Oh, well, I feel like I won the lottery talking to you. So kisses, honey. Let me know how it goes. All right.
Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Let's see. All right. We're going to take, let's see here. Let's see. We're going to take Aisha. What's a panelist? What time is it? I see. I could go all night. It's 8 o'clock. We'll do one more and then we'll wrap after this. Maybe one or two more. Hi, Aisha. Am I saying your name right? Unmute yourself, honey. All right. What do you do if a child starts screaming at you, I want the cracker, or no, I don't want it? So if they don't want it, then don't give it to them. If they start screaming at you, I want the cracker, we say use your indoor voice. Right? I want the cracker. And if we start going, oh, I hear echo. And if we start, and if he starts going like ballistic or she starts going ballistic, she gets nothing. We don't promote, we don't reward problem behavior. Okay. All right, Aisha, I'm ready for you.
Okay. Are you ready now?
I'm ready.
Thank you. So like she said, when I don't give it to him, I was writing everything, what you were saying, right?
Oh, good.
Yeah. When I don't give it to him, he will start to fight.
Okay, so let's baseline where he's at. So your question is in regards to communication. You need your boy. What's his name?
His name is Ibrahim. He's 11.
11. And Eroy, you said?
Ibrahim.
Abraham?
Abraham.
Okay, got it. All right. Abraham is 11. And he does he make sounds?
Yes.
Does he say words? Oh, he has words. Does he use the words functionally?
Yes.
All right. Does he use them functionally all the time?
No.
All right. So fascinating. You guys come in clusters. It's hysterical. The energy just connects. So for vocalizations, how much of the day? 50% of the day for wants and needs?
Yes, 50%.
Oh, 50%. Now, how does he get his wants and needs met if he's not being vocal?
point.
Oh, another pointer. Got it. All right. So give me a scenario of where he goes to the pantry and he points to something.
He wants the peanut butter and jelly. He will go grab the peanut and then he can't find the bread, or he will find the bread instead of saying, where's the bread? Or it could be he will find both of them and then he can't find the spoon or something to grab out the peanut butter. Instead of saying spoon or knife, he would just start to go back and forth, or then he would start to push me. He will start to fight, and
All
he
right,
know how.
okay, so let's say he wants the peanut butter and jelly, right? So let's say he pushes you to get the spoon and you see the peanut butter and jelly out, right? First thing we want to do with a 50-50er, we'll call them the 50-50 kids, is we want everything now that they would ask for to be visible but no longer accessible. That means that he's got to get help if he wants it. So what we do is we put the peanut butter and jelly up high on purpose. So that way he's got to come to you. So when he comes to you and he hand leads you to it and he points to it, you're going to say peanut butter. Do you want a peanut butter and jelly? Say peanut butter and jelly. Could he say that?
Yeah.
All right. And then what happens when you ask him?
He can say peanut butter and jelly. He would just say like peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and
Okay.
jelly.
But are you requiring it when he points or no?
Yeah, most of the time I do, but he would just get frustrated before even we finish.
So like what happens? So you say, okay, say peanut butter and jelly, and then what happens?
He will force me to make it.
No, I know. What do you mean, with a gun?
Yeah.
The knife, he pulls a knife out of this, you make my peanut butter and jelly now. No. All right, let's get out. All joking aside, because that's how our brain wants us to think this is. He forcing me. Think about like just the thought that her brain just gave her. He forces me, the little 11-year-old, well, probably a big 11-year-old, he forces me to make sandwich.
He's 145 pounds and I'm only 120.
Okay, fair enough. But he is forcing her to make a sandwich.
Right.
So when I think this, I feel like I don't have a say in the decision.
Yeah.
Right? That's not true.
Yes.
But that's not true. Do you agree with that? Right? But if I think that, then I'm not even pushing for vocalizations because I believe this crazy thought. Because your brain is saying, listen, just make it. We don't need to deal with this shit.
Right.
Right. So right. If my brain's job is to keep me in the cave, he's like, listen, we don't need to hear him flipping out. Just make the sandwich. But I know that if I continue to do that, he's not going to get past 50% in vocalizations. Do you see it?
Yep.
So when you ask him to make the peanut butter and jelly, what does he do? He starts flipping out?
Yeah, he started flipping out, throws stuff, and he would fight. He would go he purposely goes to the bedroom and hit his sister.
Okay. So here's what we do. We do something in the program called tripwiring. So the first thing is that what we would need to do is we'd start working on something where we want to make it so that this doesn't get you anything anymore, especially if he has the ability to be vocal. So we have two ways we can go with a kid like him. We could start with PECs, even though I know he can talk, and ease into full-on vocalizations, or we can just go, I would go, like if you packed his bag and you dropped him at my house, I'd pack away my precious knickknacks, I'd hide my children and my dogs, and I'd say, guess what? You ain't getting shit unless you say peanut butter and jelly. I'd say with love, of course, but you know what I mean.
Right.
And he's gonna get mad, he's gonna do all the things, but I can't reward that behavior. And the only reason he's doing all those things is because he knows that if I do it, eventually she's gonna make it.
Right.
So I've just reinforced the bad behavior. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So I have to weather a storm to see the sunlight again with this. So what I tell parents is we tripwire. I call it tripwiring the behavior, where we're not going to do this on a day when I got to go to work. We got to go to school. I'm going to do it on a day where I can weather the storm. I'm going to make Sissy leave the house, and the whole day I'm going to spend home with him, and everything he wants, I'm going to make visible, no longer accessible, and he's going to have to vocalize for every single thing. It may take a day or two just to extinguish the idea that hitting and flipping out. We want to show him when you flip out and you have those behaviors, you get nothing. You get nothing for that. But if you finally say the words, then you get something.
Okay. Thank you.
Does this make sense?
Yes, it does.
And listen, how we show up is what they're banking on, right? If I believe all these things, he's 100 and something pounds and I'm only 100 and something, and he's forcing me to make a sandwich. Come on. I don't care if my kid was 300 pounds and I was whatever. I wish, but I was 150, right? If I was 100, 300, nobody's fucking dragging me into a fridge to make a sandwich. Not with that attitude. You're going to ask nicely and you're going to use your voice. Right?
Right. It
All
should
right.
be.
That's right.
Mhm.
All right. No, even if I gotta carry around a squirt gun or whatever, you know what I mean? The idea here is just to like, I'm not a victim to this.
Right.
That's what this feels like. Like I'm a victim. I have no control, and you do have control. You do have we don't, listen, we can't unring the bell of the past. And I don't want anybody to feel that way. I think today is all about awareness, right? If I've been showing up a certain way and that's been giving me the life that I'm living now, I don't want you to feel guilty about it. I'm not into the shame game, right? No shame. Everybody chat, no shame in the chat. No shame for how we've shown up until this point. Because I can't unring a bell that's been rung. But what I can say is that I can show up very differently from this point forward.
Yes.
Okay. I love it. All right. Was that helpful?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
All right. No problem. Keep me posted.
I will.
This was fun.
Yeah. Another question before you leave.
Oh, sure. What's the question?
Since you said it's 6 months, we can have 3 more months. Can we pay the $400 to $200 a month? That way we have.
It's 6 months of $440. So it would be $440 a month for 6 months.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right.
Thank you.
I hope to see you.
Yeah, I want it so bad.
Oh, you make it happen. Remember, we're going to be master problem solvers. We're going to figure this out.
All right. Thank you.
All right. I love it, honey. All right. Let's see who's next. We're going to do Eric. Get a dad on the call. If it is a dad, sometimes it's mom using dad Zoom. Timeout is a good punishment. I love positive reinforcement, but sometimes, listen, I was saying this to my moms the other night. I said, you guys got to understand, sometimes as parents, we got to teach the hard lessons. We don't get to have all the fun and go to the water park and do all the fun things and eat the spaghetti. Sometimes we got to try rice. Like tonight, she flipped out at the table because she didn't want to try rice. Sometimes you got to try rice. Sometimes you got to teach the hard lessons. I want you guys to understand, if our babies speak the language of behavior for now, until they speak the language of vocal language like you and me, so you speak the language of behavior in the way that you show up. So if you're a parent who idle threats your kid to death, like don't touch that, don't touch that, don't touch that, don't touch that, right? You're creating a world where there's no structure or rules, and really structure, rules, discipline, structure for a child, any child, not just children on the spectrum, equals safety. So what I have to do in my behavior, because especially if they're speaking in behavior because they don't have their vocal language yet, I've got to speak back to them in my behavior. So that means that what I say is what I mean 100% of the time. So if I'm showing up 100%, that what I say is what I do in my behavior 100% of the time. There's no room for interpretation. There's no room for wiggle room. It's safety. She knows exactly what to expect of me. And I want you to think about that. It's so valuable to think in that way, that me sometimes having to teach the hard lessons. Discipline is love. Structure is love. Rules are love. All right, Eric, you with me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. We have a daughter. She's 6.5 years old, and she has a form of autism as well. She was kind of nonverbal, makes a lot of sounds. I was doing a lot of reading before the doctors diagnosed her with it, and I kind of had an edge and an idea that she deals with sensory things as well, flapping the arms and hands. So I've been doing looking at a lot of interviews, watching people that were with autism kids and people that were grown that had autism. I'm just basically right now just trying to figure out, because I enrolled her in school, which is a good thing because she's been in the bubble most of her life. She has a trach, which is finally coming out next year. So, and she has a G tube, which she still eats with, but she still drinks, but she drinks by mouth. They said she wasn't able to walk, but she is running because I got her to run. So she can walk.
Yeah, Dad.
So I'm very proactive. I'm just trying to figure out my next level of step. I've incorporated a lot of different techniques. She lick her hands a lot, which is not good because I think she can, incorporate viruses. She constantly licks her hands. I'm just trying to figure out a little different tactics, man. I'm just trying to figure it out. I'm more proactive than my wife. I'm extremely proactive, but I'm just really trying to figure it out.
Got it. So what's like the biggest thing? So obviously with the trach and the trach tube, that's probably making it difficult for her to communicate, correct? She can't really communicate that well with the trach tube, right?
Well, that's the thing, Michelle. A lot of kids with trachs can talk. That's when I knew something was kind of off. And then when I realized that even when we pull the trach out, when I would do trach care and clean her neck, she make a lot of sounds and gibberish, but she still wasn't talking. That's what made me realize maybe she has a sign of autism. I would call her name a million
Okay,
times.
so kids with tracheas can talk. I thought they couldn't, so they can.
Yeah, you can talk with a trach.
Okay.
You can.
All right, got it. All right. So what is your like major thing that you want to work on? Is it the sensory stuff?
Everything I say, mainly like you was telling me, what did you say? Potty training, which I just purchased your book today, but I think it came through my email versus me getting it at the house. I think it's email type of things. So I purchased that today. I haven't read through it yet, but mainly potty trained, communication skills, and like you said, being able to talk or sign language. Like she just started the school, and the school the school is basically like 80% special ed, 20% general, but she just started. So I know that's a start, but I want to do my part as a parent to be more proactive, not to depend on the school to teach me everything.
Got it. Yeah, and I agree with this too. And here's my biggest philosophy on this.
Yes,
right
ma'am.
now, we're at 1 in 44, according to the CDC. Autism Speaks is saying it's now down to like 1 in 33 or 1 in 35. The system as it is, as we all know, is taxed to the max. So even if you were to get services, the chance of you getting quality services at this point, it's going to be a challenge. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's going to be a challenge. And people are going to come and go in your life. My speech language pathologist messaged me tonight that her beautiful, wonderful BCBA is leaving her case and she's in a pack because she's got to find another one. What I want to stress to everybody here is that you are the ultimate teacher and you have to be, because you're the only constant. You're the only one that ain't going to be moving in and out of their life. You're going to be the only one that nobody's going to be fighting over for services, right? It's so valuable. It's an asset for you to be a part of my program because you need to have these skills to teach her for the rest of her life. You are the only constant in her life. Those services, those people, those therapists, they come and go. You can't rely on that, but you can rely on yourself.
Okay.
So I love that you're taking an active role. Now it's just about seeing this through to the finish line of like, listen, if I could really understand her language or behavior, and this is what we teach in my program, then I'm going to be able to teach her anything for the rest of her life. Like we focus on pie train communication, stopping problem behaviors. We even help with picky eating and eloping and whatever, right? But how we do one thing is really how we do everything. Getting those reps in my program is going to set you up for all the things that you need to teach her later on in life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So now let's just talk about communication, because that seems to be the theme of tonight, which is not shocking because potty training is by leaps and far always the number one thing, which I think she'd be capable of doing too. I'm not deterred by anything you said. I'm not deterred. So with the communication, what we want to do is baseline her. So this is what happens if you join my program, right? You join the program, we say, okay, what's your baseline? Your baseline is, I can make sounds. Okay, great. You make sounds. And my belief, and this is what I believed about Juliana, right? This is why thought work is such a big part of my job with you guys. It's not about the tactical, because believe it or not, you guys all know what you're supposed to do, but you're doing it half-assed, or you're not doing it at all because you think the autism or the trach tube or the feeding tube makes it so that this can't happen. Now, I'm not saying this about you, Eric. I'm not picking on you, but there are limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck. Do you see what I'm saying? It'd be unrealistic not to assume that. I would think it too. I'd think this shit about my own kid, right? But like the name of the game is the comeback. The name of the game is how quickly I could snap out of those shitty thoughts, because the brain's going to present them. Even to the best trained brain, like a Tony Robbins or a life coach or whatever, we all have shitty thoughts, but we've just been practiced in challenging them. And you guys haven't. So that's why thought works a lot in my program. It's 95% of the game is in your mind. 5% is the actual tactical. Okay. So when we talk about sounds, what I chose to believe about Juliana making sounds, even if they were just babble, I'm like, if she can do that, she can make intentional sounds. Like she makes sounds that represent words. And there was a time where she couldn't even say goldfish. She'd say gold. She wouldn't say gold, or she wouldn't say fish. She'd go, and that was all she could do. But it was the sign for goldfish. She was intentionally making the sound for goldfish. And that's how we built out her language. I mean, we went from sign language to making those sounds, to word approximations, to scripting, to repeating everything, to conversation skills. So what we want to do with her is we want to give her a bridge form of communication. Imagine your brain, like you got your voice on this side. Let's just talk about this earlier. And you got your thoughts on this side. Probably should be the other way around, whatever. And connecting the two is a neural pathway. I'll just say NP. And with our kids on the spectrum, this is a sleep. ZZZ, right? It's a sleep. And we've got to kickstart it somehow. Now, with a neurotypical child, it's kickstarted through exposure to speech in their environment, right? Mom and dad talking, TV shows, music, blah, blah, blah. For kids on the spectrum, that doesn't do it. It stays asleep.
So how we do it is we create a bridge form of communication. That's sign language, PECS, or an AAC device. So with her, we'd make a decision. How old is she, you said?
She's 6.5.
I'd probably start with PECS with her. And what I would do is I'd start creating a PECS board of the things that she asks for every day. Now I want you to think about her environment. Now, a lot of you guys do this, right? You'll let them go and you'll set up the home where they can go and get some things on their own because you want them to be independent. And it's a natural part of being a parent that you would do that, but not at the sake of vocal language. So we're going to reverse that. So if you've got things set up in the home where she can get it on her own, we're going to put them up high. We're going to make them visible, but no longer accessible. That way she's got to come to you. She's got to find you. Even just her having to find you is one step closer to having a bond with you that's different than the bond she has now.
I agree.
She's got to find you so that you can show her the picture so that she can get the thing. And we create fluency here. And there's something about the bridge, something about it every time. That's why it's like, I believe every child with autism can talk, because there's something about it that wakes this up. It wakes it up. And next thing you know, the sounds come more and more. Next thing you know, you're able to get her to say like for cookie or for goldfish. And then that's how we build it out. So we start here. Now, could you technically go do this without bridge? Yes, it's a much more painful process for you and the child. I want things to be fun. I want things to come second nature and be easy, especially her. She's been through a lot. And you've probably been through a lot with her.
Yes,
so I want this to be, So I want this to be something that's manageable, doable for you guys. So then that's how we do it in the program. We keep working on it. Every week you're going to come back, tell me what she's doing. As soon as my daughter got 10 signs, she stopped tantruming. It was almost like a light switch went off, like a cloud lifted. 10 signs, that's all she needed. For the things that she'd ask for every day, she was so happy.
Okay.
And then that's how the language started coming. It started with babble, and then it started with those intentional sounds, and then she started to learn to talk again. And this is what we would do for your girl as well.
Well, this is the thing with me, Miss Rogers, and I do appreciate everything you're saying. I'm one of them people as well that I work at the VA. We got insurance, all that, but I personally cannot afford you, right? I can't. However, I can't afford you. I want to jump in this free seminar. I also wanted to. I purchased a book. I purchased a potty train book. I also purchased some music to wake up the neural part of her brain, the neuropathological brain, the music that kind of wakes her up. Yep. I even got that. So I'm really jumping around. I'm spending little odds, ends, and dollars, but not the type of money that, of course, you got. I don't have it like that, unfortunately, because I just don't have it like that. Me or my wife.
Right? Here's the thing. I'm not negating the fact that investing in the masterclass is an investment. You weren't, I don't know if you knew what the cost was before tonight. Now you know, right? But here's the thing. If I believe in you, Eric, that you're a master problem solver. And that as a master problem solver, if you believe that working with me would help you get the things that you desire for your daughter, that you're going to problem solve for finding a way into my program. May not be today, may not be tomorrow, but if you truly believe in the value of what I'm offering, then you're going to find a way.
Well, I believe that. I know one thing. I've seen a million your emails. I have not went through all of them yet, but I do appreciate. I got me a new Gmail personally just for you, and you flooded it, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Like, wife was like,
no problem, Eric. I believe we will work together soon, Eric. I have 100% faith in you.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Thank you.
It was a pleasure talking to you. I'll talk to you soon.
Pleasure to you. Thank you.
All right. I think that's a wrap for tonight. Any last questions on the masterclass? The cart is open till Sunday, but I'm telling you, you do not want to miss this opportunity. I haven't checked yet. We have a bunch of new members. If we sell out, I have a number in my mind. If we sell out, I am closing the masterclass for the rest of the year because I want support has always been my North Star. Tonight has been so wonderful, so powerful, so amazing. It's so many people on the wait list. And if everyone joins, I'm going to close the doors to the masterclass. And we won't open again until 2024 if we hit this number. So, because I want to make sure I can always service everybody to the best of their ability. So if you are on the fence, go on my website. You can see all the testimonials. Go to that link and look at all the testimonials. See what there's a video in there on what it's like to be a part of this program. Do not hesitate. Join. I will not let you down. I'm here. I want to see every baby in here win. Every child in here deserves a life like Juliana has. I hope this was helpful for everybody. I'll see you next time. If you didn't get your question answered, you can drop me an email. Bye, everyone.
Bye.